Oh, ahoy hoy, and welcome to Burning Wheel. You'll notice this week I am down 2 players. That's because we kicked them out permanently. They're never coming back.
That's not
Th-
true.
Yeah.
That's not true. We are doing a special tonight where we have the group split in half. So I have these two, and they're going to go on their little solo adventure filled with nothing but friendship and getting along. And then after we take our break, we're going to come back, and the other two are going to be here, and they're going to have their own adventure full of success. Probably, most likely. It hasn't happened yet, so I don't know. Um, but we'll go ahead and get started. Works the same. No rules are different, other than there will be no roadwise and there will be no sneaking. So
Excuse you, I have
Oh
roadwise,
shit.
sir. Get out of here with that.
We're good to go.
well,
There will be no sneaking.
do you have underwater roadwise? It's totally different skill.
I do have subnautical wise.
Okay,
This one's
well,
not piloted by a joystick.
let's do
Topical.
our bits. There's only 2 of you, so let's just do B's and I's.
B's and I's. Who do you want first?
Um, we can go in reverse order for comedic effect.
Oh, comedic effect. Well, I'll go ahead and go in reverse order then as well, and I'll start with my instincts. Instinct number
Whoa.
3.
Whoa.
When someone asks for advice, long parables of the saints always have nuggets of gold. I always stand my ground when defending the weak and fighting injustice, and I have faith in the mind Our Lady gave me. For my beliefs, 2 are the same, 1 is different. Morrine and Alden are magically indispeased. Clotho is our only lead to reconstitute them. The Lotus houses a great spirit. The Lotus houses a great spirit of spring. We must extract it from Creshi to save the whole valley. Don't know how we're going to do that if we're underwater, but we'll find out. And Hazel and I have been pulled through to a false world. I must discover why we've been taken here and protect her as we exfiltrate.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, if you want to start with your first one.
No, I'll go backwards.
Okay, you can go backwards.
Instincts backwards. Always cast the fear when threatened. Always defer to Ash's opinion when making difficult decisions together. Always present a facade of weakness to strangers. 2 of my beliefs are different-ish. I seem to be misled about my life. I will use this opportunity, as in being underwater in this place, to try and figure out more about my forgotten life. The spirit of summer must be claimed by my hand. If I hold the key to this troop's goal, I can ensure they help me first. And the spicy one is, has Brother Wirt secretly been a pawn of my father this whole time? It makes sense. The destruction of my knife, the issues with the lady, and now this, if he is involved, he shall never see the light of day again.
Good God.
Perfect. Okay. Connor asked for this, everybody.
Connor did.
Okay.
I
So, what happened last time? Give us a sentence. Hazel?
Last time, we burnt down a demon's house. Made that demon really mad, and then Brother Wirt and I were like, we can't sneak, so we're gonna go to a lake.
Yes. And then what happened at that lake, Brother Wirt?
we stood there, decided, okay, is it more important to help people or play archaeologist for a day? And Hazel decided, oh, yeah, absolutely, Indiana Jones this up. And so I cast a prayer and failed shockingly, and then we were underwater, and then there was a consort floating around, swimming by us, taunting us quite
Yes.
rudely.
So you guys fell through the ice. Not the ice didn't break. You sort of just phased through the ice and then you started sinking. You're not swimming downward. You're just being pulled gently downward. And you're not like struggling to breathe. Like you are not breathing. You're holding your breath, but you're not like, oh god, I'm about to run out of air. You can see down probably maybe 100 or so feet. How deep are lakes? We'll go with 100 feet. You see sort of this ruins of a fairly large building. It's not like in perfect condition, but you can tell it's definitely a large building. It still like has a roof on it. It seems to be contained. Um, it looks rather right. You've never seen the abbey from above, but this looks just like your abbey if you were to have seen it from above.
Sure, there's the wings are the same, and there's like a layout of.
Mhm.
Okay.
And as you were descending, this sort of dark figure of a large fish sort of swam up to you with this wide mouth that you recognized as belonging to the consort, and it looked and said, "So you're coming home," but it was looking at Hazel when it said that. So we will pick up there. You three just sort of splashing around.
I assume we're still sinking, but I'm gonna try to swim back.
You try to swim up and it doesn't work. And you also look
Yeah,
up and realize if you were to swim up, there's a sheet of ice.
yeah. Well, I'm just trying that.
hmm It doesn't work. If you narratively, it doesn't work. If you
No,
want to try to swim, you
just
can test.
narratively.
Okay, yeah.
I think Wirt is not convinced that this isn't some kind of vision or trance or something, so he's just kind of along for the ride.
hmm
He is holding his breath though; he does not speak.
Okay, perfect. The fish sort of is just like circling you all at this point, and it seems like. Do you think you would just like defiantly ignore it, or would you just be like watching it as it swims in these like predatory circles around you?
I would be watching Hazel more than I'm watching it.
What is Hazel watching?
Hazel desperately tries to swim for a little bit and then realizes it's not going anywhere.
hmm He's going
And
somewhere,
then
just not swimming there.
I think she watches the fish, but also like she's pretty perceptive, so she's gonna note other words like calmness also.
Okay. So this fish, like, if you watch it, it takes up a larger portion of your field of view than is expected. Like the fish is not large, but when you're looking at the fish, it's just like almost like tunnel vision, but the fish is just everywhere you look, it's more fish, but the fish isn't large. It's sort of disorienting, especially being underwater, where it's already like hazy and wavy. You're sinking, and the fish is just sort of circling around you. It is whispering to you in your ears, and it's like, "What brought you home? It's been so long, and you've brought friends." If you respond, you can, but it's just going to keep like making small talk, essentially, just taunting you the whole way down.
I'm not gonna respond to it, and I after watching it a little bit, once it like keeps doing this, I'm gonna just close my eyes and like try to like scream in my head to blot it out.
Okay. Um, Both of you make an ob two. What are the skills? There's not constitution. Is there like
Fort,
a
fort.
ob two fort?
Oh god.
This is gonna be great.
Hey,
Nice.
look at that. So you guys both you've
Difficult
held your
fort,
breath
that's good.
for a while. It seems like an unnaturally long time. Like, and you still hadn't needed to breathe. But you're about 20 feet from the bottom. So like you're not to the bottom yet. And it's starting to become a struggle to like hold your breath. At this point it's starting to affect you. Um and the fish, you're sort of ignoring it. You've closed your eyes, trying to concentrate on breathing. And it says, "I'll see you in time." And then the fish just sort of it like swims behind you, and then it doesn't come back up the other side. So you have lost the fish. You are not drowning. We'll say you get to the bottom. Um, there's a door to the abbey in front of you. It looks like the doors are still functional, um, but it just looks like an underwater building with a door. But you look around and you see nowhere else to go.
Hmm. Are we You said we're not drowning, but we are
No.
approaching. Okay.
Yes. Your consequence is right here. I'm giving you an opportunity to do something before I tell you what the consequence is narratively.
Okay. Wirt is very resourceful. I
Mm-hmm.
imagine he has a bottle in his bag, just an empty bottle,
Mm-hmm.
probably. So I
Probably.
want to fish out an empty bottle and take a big gulp of air from a sealed vessel.
Easy. Is it easy to do? And you do it. Is it refreshing? It gives you some air.
That's all we're looking for, I
Yeah.
guess.
So I guess your consequence will be each of you will take an ob. Not an ob. I'm just going to tell you. What's the level of wound that actually does something? Is it superficial? The
Yeah.
one where you okay, yeah. You can just take superficial. You strain for breath. You're short of breath. So like when you are breathing again, it's gonna affect you holding your breath for this long.
Hmm. Okay. I look at Hazel. Is she still eyes closed,
No, the fish has
shunning the world?
left, which I realized because I could still hear it, even though I
Yeah.
was trying not to.
Mm-hmm.
And you look back at me, and I'm just watching you to see what you do.
Hmm. I will, I guess, open the door to the abbey.
Okay.
Just straight up go in.
You open the door. You open the door, and in the door frame is just like this shimmering interface.
Hmm.
And you can tell that the water is not entering the abbey. It's like it
Hmm.
is just like a fish tank, but there's no glass. It's just the water is not entering.
I reach my hand back for Hazel's.
I'll enter the abbey myself.
Okay. Well then.
You enter the abbey. You sort of like walk to the other side, and you sort of get pushed almost by the pressure of the water into the building. It wasn't really affecting you until you like were partly through this interface, and at that point, it hits you how out of breath you are, triggering your consequence. And then Brother Wirt, the same sort of happens to you, and you both sort of collapse into this abbey. You are soaking wet. You have been swimming, and you're panting. There's like a puddle, but you look up and like the door, it's just water. It's not entering the abbey at all. Actually, I take that back. You're not soaking wet. You are totally dry.
180. Okay. Go ahead and close that door for posterity's sake.
Okay, close it. It's as expected. A door would work,
Okay.
but
Then I think just take a second to catch my breath
mhm.
and
You
chill.
look around and you're in what is recognizable as the abbey. Everything is different. You can tell everything is much older. There are like holes. Like they all of the windows are well, all the windows you can see right here don't have glass. There's just like you can see shards of glass like where the window was
Mm,
broken. You can see the water is not coming in. There's sort of some sections of the roof and the walls might be missing. You can see there's rubble, but again, the water is just this perfect outline of the abbey. It's not entering at all.
mhm.
Um, but looking down, like there is dust on the ground, there's dead grass on the ground. Like it looks like this was not underwater when it became a ruin. Like it looked like it was
Mhm.
a ruin that was then submerged. But there's no like not water in here, but like there's no like dead fish. There's no nothing that looks like this has been exposed to water at all. If you ignored everything around you, you would think that you were outside
Mhm.
above the lake.
Can I do some kind of check to see if this state of disrepair is matches with my memories? Like, was it
Yeah. We'll say either perception or will, maybe, depending on if you're looking around more, or if you feel like it's more of an internal, you're trying to delve your own memories.
What's the op?
We'll say it is going to be 3 for either.
Perception.
Okay.
Wait. No, I'll do will.
Okay.
I forgot what difficult and challenging meant. I forgot I had a will. No sixes. That's okay.
Yeah. So, you are really trying to concentrate, and like you have memories, and you can almost see this place, but then it's sort of you lose it, and you're just remembering the abbey, where Brother Wirt is from. But you see, like you're like, "Ah, I remembered this, I remembered that," but as you're trying to remember it, you see, like, let's say you get a flash maybe of this place, like a long, deep buried memory that is not a pleasant one. Maybe it's like Ash sort of trying to do magic and it's way too much and he's like screaming in pain and like you're trying to comfort him and it's not working. Like it's a very unpleasant memory. Um, why not? We'll add another superficial wound. I don't think I've ever done that before.
Perfect. I don't.
Think it does anything, but
No.
you get another
Yeah,
one and
perfect.
then another one.
I mean, you have to heal them all, which is the problem.
Okay.
Great.
So it's pretty well lit, as you would not expect because it's nighttime upstairs in the air, and you're 100 feet underwater. It seems like there's just all present like faint glow. Like there's no shadows here. It's like everything is casting light, but you can't see the light. It's just you're looking and everything is illuminated.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the least of our problem.
Yeah, I think that's not really a concern at the moment. Wirt will look to Hazel and like, are you okay? Do you seem out of breath, or are you feeling okay?
No shit, I'm out of breath. We just went how far deep underwater? You're out of breath too.
Well, sorry for caring. Is that okay? Well, we're here, and there's nothing really we can do about that
Yeah.
right now. What's our next step? I can't swim back up to the surface.
No. Well,
You
swimming just
tried.
didn't work anyway. Yeah. What is the next step? You tell me. You're the man with a plan.
Okay. Do you recognize this place?
Yeah, it's the Abbey, like in Hochen.
It isn't.
Why not?
I know it's not. Because the Abbey in Hochen, above the entryway, there is a prayer to Saint Mordovicius. That's not
Okay.
here.
Is it not here?
Um, make an ob 1 doctrine.
I assume you're talking to Wirt.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
is it on this roll I can be successful?
Yeah. Yes, it is not there, and you know that Saint Mordovindrin, is that what you called them?
Mordovicius.
Mordovicius, lived, we'll say, 500 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that was inscribed on your abbey pretty recently. Not recently, but like within the last 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't make sense if it was inscribed before they existed.
That's true. And they didn't achieve sainthood until post-mortem, so, I mean,
As is
all of it.
tradition.
Timeline doesn't make a lot of sense here for it to be Hoken.
Has Hazel shared? I don't think she's told really anybody except maybe Ash about what Willow did, and like the visions from that.
I don't think she has shared.
Okay, perfect. So she's gonna go check for this Mortivicious quote, and it's not there.
It is not there.
Wow, it looks like you really know your stuff, Wirt. Brother Wirt. She says brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
So where, if we're not at your abbey, where are we?
I can only assume that physical locations are the same, and this is the abbey that the Duchess has been looking for.
Okay.
Don't have any way to confirm that.
What's the significance of that, though?
There is an archaeological site relevant to the faith from hundreds of years ago that I don't know what other significance there would be. Is there something else that's happened?
I don't know.
So, to me, we are in an abbey that is protected by, I will hope, a holy ward to keep it from flooding. And there's not much else to it.
Oh, what about that creepy fish? Who's that?
It seemed to be speaking to you. Did you not know who it is?
I'm asking you the questions.
I am aware of who the fish is.
Maybe
was
I
I
am
speaking to
too.
you?
I just wanted to specify. You recognize this. Like, you have memories of your dad.
Yeah, I know.
And this fits with that.
Yeah.
The fish is not your dad. You're like, my dad is not a fish.
Yeah.
But you know that fish is your dad.
Perfect.
Tracks.
Okay. Continue.
Brother Wirt, I'm just trying to get on the same page with you, and I'm trying to understand your baseline knowledge before I share with you what my knowledge is.
You're asking me what my baseline knowledge
Is
on
of
that
that
is of the
fish.
faith. Is of that fish
Yeah, that
specifically.
fish specifically.
Yes. Hazel, that is not a fish, as you are well aware. That was an alternate guise of the consort. An alter form to that of the lady.
The consort?
Hazel.
I don't know. Don't.
So the consort is a figure who has offered aid to those in the faith of the lady when things do not seem to be going as they desire. I believe that the consort looks for weakness and looks for opportunities to prey on the doubts of the faithful. In moments of weakness, looks to turn them to its side for reasons unknown. Not everyone of the faith holds this belief, but it is a suspicious sign to be visited by that fish in this way.
Why did it have to be a fish?
As Brother Wirt finishes his short speech, you hear running footsteps, and like you're in the entry hall. So like in what would be maybe the dining area, you hear like someone running. like in their footsteps. It's pretty silent here, and you hear like their footsteps echoing quite loudly.
Mm.
Yeah. Wirt is going to like. There's a stanchion and like pillar with like a bust of so and so on it, and I like shove Hazel behind it and like duck behind another corner
Okay, we're hiding.
to
I'll,
vaguely hide.
I understand your confusion, and I'll specify it. The footsteps are running away.
We might still be hiding.
Yeah, I think we're still hiding.
You're still hiding. You hear the
We-
footsteps like fade, like
Mhm.
they're running. It sounds like they're running for a while, like much longer than the dining room would be, and it just
Mhm.
sounds like they're running in that direction until they fade.
Mhm.
What
I
was that?
mean, I don't know.
You're supposed to know things. It's your abbey.
This is not my abbey. I have never been here before.
Sure about that?
I am quite certain.
Okay. Well, I have been here before. I think.
Okay. Please elaborate.
Is that surprising to you?
I can't say I wasn't suspicious of the story you have told us before.
Oh. Well, anyway, have you fallen prey to this consort? If he preys on the weak?
I have not.
Are you sure?
I am quite certain.
Okay, well what do we do?
Hazel, I'd like to clarify something that I said. The weak is not intended to be chiding or derogatory.
Oh, I didn't
It
think you
is.
were calling me weak.
I see. Okay. Please tell me what your contact with the consort in the past has been.
I will share some about the fact that I thought. So I think I mentioned that I grew up in an underwater palace, but nobody fucking
Yeah.
believed me.
I'm surprised.
So I'm gonna just say that's true, and it was here. Maybe? It seems like it was here. It was the same layout as the abbey. There can't be 3 abbeys. You know, there's only 2 abbeys. And I think the consort might have pretended to be my dad and raised me and Ash. But I won't say like all the bad shit.
So this he acted as a father figure, and I assume that there's some bad shit that you're leaving out of the context of this story.
You can assume whatever you want.
Well, at any rate, how is this familiar to you in terms of being underwater? If this is somewhere that you've been before, is the doorway the same as you remember it? How were you underwater previously?
What do you mean?
Were you
Like,
swimming
no,
everywhere, or
no.
was
It's all dry
The
like
palace
this.
was underwater,
Yeah.
but there was not. It was not an underwater palace.
Correct.
There was definitely no water in the palace.
Yeah, it was like this. But we didn't leave.
you never left?
I don't think so.
Nope.
How did you come to find us?
Uh, I don't know. We must have escaped somehow.
Okay. Um, was who else was here with you?
Ash?
Roll a will. Say an ob 2 will.
No problem. I'm gonna spend a fate. Not have my wound.
Okay. Nope. Ugh. Wait. So, do both of your wounds give you a disadvantage?
No. Oh, no.
No. So, okay, you just didn't check it. Okay.
The
Um,
disadvantage from a wound, which is from that's the obstacle disadvantage. But then you have a no, you have a dice penalty.
Yeah.
From higher level. Okay, sorry. This is different from your tax that I was looking at before.
yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This when Brother Wirt is asking you how you tried to get, like how you escaped. You were at home and then you were in a forest.
I think no, I do remember. What I thought when I showed up was that my dad sent me to find my uncle, right? So maybe he sent us away. Maybe we didn't escape. Maybe we were sent away.
And that's the thing that Hazel is verbalizing
Yeah.
right now? Okay. That sounds plausible. I think the material fact of how you left is unimportant right now.
I think it is
If you don't
important
remember it.
because how are we gonna not be here?
Well, if you don't remember how you were not here the first time, we either need to jog that memory or it's not useful to us.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I'll give you something. I like this, so I'm going to give you a little bit more so you're not just like, nothing. So you remember you were getting a lesson from your dad in what would be the main part of the abbey, Brother Wirt? Like, what is like? Do you have like a chapel? Is there like a?
I mean, yeah, there's probably like just a large hall that is going to be a multi-purpose used for sermon every Tuesday, whatever, but
So your dad was giving you a magic lesson in that, and that is the memory you have before you were just wandering the forest.
Right. I will not vocalize that. I will.
cool. Cool.
Okay, well, I think we should just look around. Like maybe the library has things. This is where we learned magic, so maybe there's cool magic things.
I love your enthusiasm. This is great. It was only Ash that was here? There was
Yeah,
nobody else.
Ash and the consort.
So then whose footsteps were those?
Oh, I don't know about that. That's why I thought we were hiding.
That was why we were hiding. And now we know that person is not a friend.
We're down here.
Yes.
We're a friend. Maybe?
Are you saying Ash is here?
No. Well, I hope Ash isn't here. Well, maybe that would be better.
The only person who has been here before that I would trust to join the two of us right now is Ash.
Uh-huh.
We must be very careful as we explore this place.
What if it is Ash? Then we do want him, so we should go find him.
Yes, again, love your enthusiasm. We should explore. That needs to happen. But I'm going to ask you, please, be cautious.
Okay. Lead
Okay,
the way.
who's going first? Where?
Wirt will take the lead.
And where are you going?
I guess into the dining hall. It's the first step.
Okay.
It's the next room over, right?
Yeah. So this is where the footsteps were. They're not currently here. You enter this room and you see a woman, like frozen, like she's mid stride, like a couple steps into this room. Um, she, you notice two things at once. One, she's frozen. No, freebie, she's frozen mid stride. First thing you notice, She is solid stone. Second thing you notice, she looks very familiar from the back.
To who?
Brother Wirt more than you.
Okay.
Okay. So
This
I will.
looks like Willow from the back.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna walk up to Stone Willow.
Wait, don't
Okay.
go in the stone room. I'm gonna
You-
stop you from going in.
Thank
Pull
you.
your
See?
cloak.
Caution. I appreciate that. We must watch out for each other here. This is a dangerous place. Can I find a bee in my bag and throw the bee into
Ooh.
the room and see what it does?
You toss the bug into the room. Is it alive or dead?
It's alive.
It's alive. It starts flying around. It doesn't turn to stone immediately.
Okay.
Probably okay.
Probably okay. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So you enter this room and you're going to examine this statue.
Mm-hmm.
It is a perfect statue, like solid marble, like very high quality statue of Willow. The only thing that is unusual for a statue is it has eyes that are not stone.
Ooh. Ooh. Do they look like Willow's eyes?
Are Willow's eyes clouded? She is blind.
DM Fiat.
We'll say that yes, her eyes are like clouded now. These look like her eyes not clouded. And as you like come around, you see them like they were looking in direction and they look straight. Like they were looking at you in their peripherals and then they see you coming around and then they look straight.
I'm not going in the stone room, so I'm just gonna watch Wirt go inspect the statue. Like, are you turning into stone? Is it okay? What's up with the statue? Just ask.
I'm okay. The statue has eyes. The eyes are real.
No.
That's how I feel as well. I would like to take my sister's hand and look into the eyes. And, sister, can you hear me?
The eyes give no reaction.
If I slowly move, do they track me at all now that I've engaged with the statue?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I want to reverse my footsteps and go back to where I was.
Okay.
See what the eyes do.
Like you're walking back totally behind her or just like to the side?
Yeah. From the way that I came in.
Roll a. Instead of me just deciding, I want you to make a check of some sort. Maybe stealth or conspicuous or inconspicuous. I'll say we'll do ob 2 for any of the 3.
Well, let's just go with the good old ob 2 inconspicuous then, I guess. Love it. Ooh, I'm gonna
Got
spend
a
a fate to
lot of
reroll
6s.
those
good.
6s, and I'm also going to spend a fate to lose this stupid injury. Okay, so we succeed on that, and then going forward, no longer injured.
Yeah, so you sort of like just reverse course. So Hazel, you see him walk sort of like, and then just like slowly walk backwards the exact way. Oh,
Oh, he's gone.
he's gone.
Lighting
then-
change. We're good.
You see the eyes sort of like as you're out of their vision, they like look back to where you're going, and then they look forward again. Like they wanted to make sure you left, and then they looked forward.
Brother Wirt, I don't think you should be talking to the statue that has real eyes.
But okay, I hear your concern. This is my sister.
Yeah, but she's not supposed to be here, I don't think.
So why is she here?
I don't know, but that's not our problem because anything that's here is probably bad.
You hear a blood-curdling scream coming from the library.
Oh, that's auspicious timing. Um, well, Hazel, you're from here, and you're
No,
not bad.
I'm not from here. You told me I'm not.
Well, I want to believe that not everything here is malicious.
Okay,
Should be
let's
treated with
go
caution.
check out the scream then.
That sounds good.
It does?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, lead the way.
To the library.
Okay. You walk into the library. It looks similar to the library. It's not like an exact layout, like all the bookshelves aren't in the same spot, but you can tell it is a library. The room is generally shaped the same way. The there are books here. It looks like a lot of them are like disintegrating. Maybe there's some mildew on some of them. But it looks like just quick look around. You could read some of these books if you someone chose. It would take some time and some careful um, doing. What is more unsettling is there's probably a ring of like we'll say 5 people in the middle of this library. Some like chairs and stuff. You can tell they're sort of decayed now, but you can tell they were sort of shoved out of the way. There's 5 people in this ring. One of them is at the front holding like a dagger above them, and then there's a sixth person like on the ground in the middle of the circle. They're all stone. Um, you recognize most of them. They're people from the abbey. The person holding the dagger is a likeness of Brother Wayne. And you can see the person on the ground has like wounds from the dagger, and it's like a big mouth has been carved into their chest.
Hmm. And who is it on the ground?
We'll say it is.
I feel like it's Papa Wombly.
Don't you dare. He is a precious old man and does not deserve this. How
It's
dare you?
Papa Wombly Bigger, yeah.
It's nothing sacred to you people. Okay, okay.
And
I
now that you
look.
think about it, that scream you heard did sound like Papa Wombly Bigger.
Okay. What's the status of their eyes?
Their eyes are stone.
So Papa Wombly Bigger, I know, has he likes to keep this secret, but he has a prosthetic foot.
Hmm.
Can I look at his left foot?
Yeah. Roll. I will let this one be totally up to the universe. Roll a d6.
Okay, okay. 4.
Yes, his foot is a real foot.
I don't like it. Is it in a state of decay? Is it a young man's foot? An old man's foot?
It looks like a.
He lost his foot in a bit of disease when he was in his mid 40s.
Yeah,
This looks like
He
a
got, like, an
mid
infection.
40s year foot.
Okay, okay.
It's not decayed. It is pristine.
Mhm.
It's soft to the touch if you so touched it.
no.
Yeah, there's very, very little foot touching that's
It
happening.
looks like you could touch it and it would be soft.
Okay. It just has that air of softness about it.
Uh-huh.
Um. Hmm. Okay. There is nobody currently alive in the room.
Except you two.
Well, except us two. Yes.
And a bee. We'll say the bee followed you.
The bee. I open up the little bee pouch for him to go back in if he wants. I don't know if bees like underwater or not. Okay. Hazel,
Yeah.
that foot is real. Those eyes are real. I don't know what the connection is, but this place is the reason my sister is blind.
That is a jump of logic to make. But sure, if I'll go along with that. That's fine. What are you gonna do about that?
I don't know. This is all a very new experience to me. I don't know how to feel about any of it. Um, the footsteps of a person running was the statue of Willow was in a moving motion pose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The scream from Papa Wombly Bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Body here of Papa Wombly Bigger. I know that these are not real, but they are connected to their real selves.
Okay.
There is something about this place that reflects what's happened or will happen or is happening in Hochen.
Okay. Well, I don't think Brother Wayne, other than not wanting to call me my right name, Brother Wayne hasn't carved a giant mouth into anybody's body before, has he?
That you know of. No, he's not.
That we know
Brother
of.
Wirt, that you know of either.
We haven't been in Hochen for days now. Did something happen in the abbey? Do you know anything about what might have happened? Is there
This abbey? That abbey?
the abbey in Hochen?
Why would I know? I left when you left.
Yes, but you had conversations with my sister. You have an intuition about these sorts of paranormal things.
I don't know about that, but your sister's been blind for forever, maybe?
Yeah.
So why would you assume that like this? Maybe this happened like 120 years ago, and Brother Wayne's secretly an ancient avatar of the consort.
What does that make my sister then?
Um, well, she's not carving a mouth into somebody.
No, but parts of her corporeal flesh are here.
But you've assumed. Okay, here's where I'm getting lost in the logic. You have assumed that the parts of people here because the consort took them or something. But what if this just shows people and then it doesn't know how to show the people if they don't have things, so it puts their real things there. You know?
Hmm.
I mean, maybe it's not actually their real things, but it's like flesh to stone, but what do you do when there's no flesh? Flesh. Stone, the air, nothing to flesh?
I see what you mean. Perhaps I'm overreacting. Let's explore more, and we'll.
Let's take your sister's eyes and see what happens.
I do not like that idea at all.
As you verbalize that, you hear some like chuckling from the kitchen. So not directly next to this room, but like back in the dining room, and you can tell it's coming from a room further.
Let's
And
not go to the kitchen.
it's a chuckling, like a chuckle whisper, like someone's like, "Oh, you."
I think we should go there.
We should go to the kitchen? Okay, if you say so. Lead the way.
I will lead on
Okay,
and
you.
step outside the room,
Uh-huh.
listen for the chuckling, and
Mhm.
see if I, one, recognize it, and two, identify if it's moving or not.
So you don't hear the chuckle again, but when you do step in, you do see a shadow enter the kitchen. which jumps out because this is the only shadow you have seen here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone has just stepped beyond the vision of the door, and
Mm-hmm.
then the shadows you don't even get a good look at the shadow. You just see the shadow moving out of vision,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't hear anything. It is now silent.
Okay. Stand at the door to the kitchen. Look into the kitchen. Anybody in there?
Empty. Not a statue in sight.
Hmm. Well, um,
Where are you, Hazel?
I don't think I went to the kitchen. Where did I
Okay.
go? I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I'll go to the big chapel area.
Okay. Roll a D6 for fun. Oh, I feel like Sarah. No. You want me to tell you what didn't happen?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, you get to the chapel. We'll say it's not too much further. So you two are going to sort of, before you realize she's not following you, she's going to be in the chapel. So you see no one in the kitchen. In the chapel, you see like a bird fountain in the middle of the chapel, which that doesn't exist in the other chapel. There's just sort of like in the real chapel that you're familiar with, it's just sort of like pews and then maybe like a shrine. Here you can see all of the pews have been like broken and scattered to the side of the room, and there's just this. There's no shrine. There's just this bird fountain. And you can see it's filled with something. There's also a ring of large, like say 8 foot by 3 foot mirrors in a ring around this, and they're all sort of facing toward this thing, and they all have like thin little tendrils going like hanging down and then going into the bird fountain.
Right.
And there's movement in the mirrors for
Oh, and the
sure. You
mirrors.
can't come
Okay.
across to mirrors and not have movement in them.
No. Okay.
We'll hop back to Brother Where.
saying there's nothing in the kitchen. I double
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that there's nothing in the library, I panic.
Okay.
I mean, it's briskly walking down halls, sticking my head in every doorway, looking for Hazel.
Okay. Roll a speed. We'll say ob 3. And this is just going to determine like how much time Hazel has before you arrive.
Oh no. There it is.
Okay.
Difficult
So your
speed, though, that's good.
consequence is you don't get there before she has time to do some stuff. Okay. You take like the roundabout way to get there because you're like,
Mhm.
surely she didn't go straight to the chapel. Why would you do that? That sounds like the worst place to go. Okay, so Hazel, you're in this chapel.
Yeah, here's what I want to do. I want to make an obscure history check to see if I know what this like if this fountain mirror situation is like symbolic of anything. If
Okay.
it means
Obscure
something
history.
more. Yeah, obscure history.
Say maybe I should actually look up history rather than just come up with a number. We will say this is some of the things I know what part of the page they're on, so I just keep flipping the page and I forget how the alphabet works, and I'm just looking at the spot where it's supposed to be. Do you think this is a history of a countercultural movement?
I
This doesn't seem like a cultural
know.
movement. We'll say ob 4.
Up 4. Okay.
That was harder than what I was going to assign before I looked it
Yeah,
up.
it is hard. I will fork in symbology,
Okay, there are symbols.
foreign history,
Yeah, this is a foreign religion.
and astrology, and you can tell me whether or not apocalypse wise would apply.
Huh.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So here's everything not astrology.
There is 1/6.
Is my fate should I spend another fate to shrug off the whip?
No, I'll consider this still
Okay,
part of the
same
same
thing.
scene.
Okay. And then astrology. Okay, good, good. And spend a fate for 6 roll.
Correct.
Nice.
So you shrugged it off. So it was 4
Ob
still?
four,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so you did meet it.
Yes.
Okay. This looks like it just looks bad. You can't quite figure out. You're like, there are bits of this that seem familiar, but it's sort of you're almost getting a headache because you can't remember. Have you seen this before, or you remember learning about this, or do you actually remember this? You can't quite figure out what is happening, but you know that it is like a machine almost. It's purposeful and it is going to do something, but you know it's not ready yet.
Okay, okay, okay. That's terrifying.
Are you where are you at in this? Are you like up close and personal looking around?
I would have gotten closer, but I won't go like. I assume the mirror's reflective part is facing the fountain. I won't go in the
Mhm.
circle of the mirror. I'll stay outside
Okay.
of it.
But are you like looking in at the mirrors and at the fountain
Yeah.
and around? Okay. So the fountain you notice is full of a black liquid.
Yeah.
The sort of tendrils that are going to each of these mirrors are like drawn very thin, like but when you get a little close and you can tell there's like some fluidity, like they're also made of this black liquid coming from the mirrors. Um, most of the mirrors are a person, uh, sort of, we'll say kneeling, like they're almost folded in prayer, and you can recognize like there's little signs. Like whenever you cast spells, like sometimes things happen. Like maybe your hair will stand on edge, or like you'll there's just little tells, and you can tell most of these have that sign. Like it looks like they're casting or using magic, but they're frozen in these mirrors. There's a couple mirrors where they're not doing that, and they're like moving and like it's like scenes of a film. Like it's like a thing, and then it shifts, and another thing, but it's always the same person. And those ones are adults. Everyone else is a child.
What? Wait, everybody casting like Frozen is a child, and then the ones
Hmm.
moving are adults.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um.
And there's a couple that are empty. We'll say there's like 2 empty ones.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, yeah, that's great. And it looks like they're like using sorcery, not like
Mhm.
okay. Do I know any of them?
No. About this time, we'll say, Brother
Yeah.
Wirt, you s- run past the chapel and you see her and you're like, whoop, whoop, back up and you look in and see this scene as she's like on the outside of these mirror circles, like looking in and around.
What have you found? Very calm, cool, collected. No worries.
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea.
Um.
I walk up and I like start to inspect it as well.
Okay. Couple things jump out. The black liquid, you're like, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The adults, Morrine and Alden.
Mm-hmm. And the children?
You don't recognize any of the children.
How many children are there?
We'll say there's 9 mirrors. 2 of them are empty. 2 of them have Morrine and Alden. So 5. You don't recognize any of them.
So, couple of notes. That liquid, don't
Yeah.
touch it.
Okay.
Don't breathe it. Don't look at it. Don't
Yeah.
light it on
I
fire.
wasn't
Don't.
planning on that.
Okay, it's big bad news. Second, those 2 people. That's Morrine. That's Alden.
Okay.
Third, are the empty mirrors supposed to be you and Ash?
Don't say that out loud. We're not saying things like that.
Fair. My apologies.
Well, how do we get them out of the mirror?
I don't know. Was Alden ever in contact with the oil?
Morrine was
No.
also not.
If I look carefully at each of the children, do I see any distinctive features? Like, oh man, that's a young Lord Stravitz's nose. Like, is there any? Do I recognize any of these kids? Is this somebody in a different stage of life that's been?
I will say that's probably just perception. We'll say it'll be ob 4, because you've never seen a young Lord Stravit. You're going based purely off nose.
It's the most distinctive of the features. Can I fork in noble wise?
Can you fork into stat rolls?
Oh, stat rolls. I don't remember.
Sean's not here to tell us.
No, you can't. I could help, but I don't think I have anything useful.
All
I
right.
don't think you've even seen Lord Stravit.
Killing it.
Killing it. You are like staring at this thing. I'll let you decide. You can't get a good look. Do you think that you get a little? Are you really cautious, or are you like trying to get a good look and pass sort of the threshold of the circle?
My body does not pass the threshold of the circle. I have other plans for that, though.
Okay. So your consequence then is you're looking at this. It doesn't look like you don't recognize any of these noses. These are unfamiliar noses to you.
Very unfamiliar noses.
But you hear a voice that says, "What are you looking for?" And you look up, and there's just like this creature, big eyes, big wide mouth, like up on the ceiling, just like grabbing the ceiling, like with its hands and legs, and you can tell it's been watching you this whole time.
That's not creepy at all. Physically, closer to the fish, closer to Graves.
You recognize it as consort-esque. The face is what you saw whenever you would have to get sucked in to look at the consort. It's like, but now it just has this body, and you can't you're looking at the body, and you can't put a definite form to it. You can just tell it has an arm, leg, body, but it's almost like your eyes shift off of its body, and your eyes keep getting drawn back to its face. Like no matter what part of it you're looking at its face.
It's a face. Oh God, I hate this guy.
It's not great.
What have you done with my friends?
Ooh.
You know who I am talking about. Morrine and Alden. What have you done with them?
I didn't do anything to them. They've messed up my plans.
What plans have they messed up?
And it just sort of like fades back into the wall and it's gone.
Well, I'd rather him be gone than here. Okay. Finding a broomstick. Collapsible pointer for lectures.
There's
broken twig.
shards of broken pew scattered around the room.
Sure, yeah, I find a particularly long one.
Mhm.
And I, standing with Wirt's physical body outside of the circle of mirrors at all times, reach in with the stick and like swirl the little
Before
tendrils.
you do that, I'm gonna be following you as you're finding a stick, and I'm gonna be like, well, I don't know if I had a memory or if I've seen this before, if I learned about it, or I don't know. But this fountain is like a machine and it's supposed to do something, but it's not ready yet. So I don't think we should mess with it. And I don't think that you should end up being one of the empty mirrors, and I should end up being one of the empty mirrors, and then we all die a horrible death that happens. So just be careful.
Apocalypse machine.
Yeah.
Okay. More
Well,
caution.
to be
then.
fair, I don't know that it's an apocalypse machine. I can only assume.
I mean, it gives off apocalypse machine vibes. I understand that. You have an intuition about this apocalypse machine. I will heed it. Okay. The plan goes forward as stated, but now I've
Okay.
tied two sticks together, so I'm even farther away.
What type of check would you like to make?
I don't know. Fuck around and find out check?
Like, I guess, what's your intent?
My intent is I want to mess with the tendril and like
For, like,
see.
scientific purposes?
Yeah, and like if does it to one of the children that I don't recognize, does it break if I pull it? Is it stretchy like taffy? Can I poke a hole in it and then the mirror shatters? Like what's gonna happen to this poor unknown
We'll say,
child?
I mean, I'll say agility, just to, like, try to, like, get this thing over there. You can make an argument for something else if you have a better idea, but we'll call it, like, an ob 2 agility just to, like, mess with the tendril.
We don't think this is bureaucracy?
No, probably not.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
I can cast a spell that might help protect you, but I also
don't
might
like that.
pass out
I
from
don't
that.
like that. No
What
magic
spell are
in
you
this
currently
place.
casting?
I don't have.
Or no, you're not focusing.
No,
You just have
yeah,
attacks.
yeah.
Okay.
No more magic in this place. What was the ob? 2.
You can do it.
I will specifically
Mhm.
ask for the lady to grant prowess and acumen to a person, beast, device, or tool. Like the lady to bless my crafted stick.
The most holy stick.
The holy stick of Antioch. Thanks, bitch.
It's only appropriate.
So you are trying to do it. You're trying to be gentle, and as you're doing it,
That was just the faith roll to bless the stick.
Oh, ouch! Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I can still fail the agility roll. Don't worry.
You feel a
Don't worry.
mundane
Oh
stick.
no!
Fate. Spending a
Oh,
fate.
no!
Absolutely spending a fate.
Oh no!
So you are doing it. Your unblessed stick sticking out there.
This is so
And
fun.
it comes apart. It wasn't tied together very well, and the part that comes, it does fall through the tendril, and it seems to sever it, and it like recedes like pretty quickly back, but then it comes back and it looks like it's searching, like and it sort of like comes in your direction a little bit, like it's
Uh-huh.
just sort of
Uh-huh.
drawn to things. Eventually, it does ignore you and go back and reconnect to the mirror.
Mhm.
I'll tell you your consequences at this liquid seems, if not alive, sentient. Like it wants.
Yeah.
It has
Oh yeah.
wants. Okay.
Mhm. Hmm.
Your stick is also hopelessly in the circle.
That's fine. That it was just a fucking pew.
Now you
Forget
see it
that.
radiate glow and it's been blessed, but it's inside the circle.
Right. It's just could you waited 12 seconds, Wirt? What are you doing? Okay.
Okay, we're not touching liquid. We're not touching mirrors. We're leaving somehow.
I would like to look at the pool of fluid.
Mhm.
Are there any remnants of a face, a mouth, eyes? Anything that looks like consorty in this?
Not at, like, not a given, but you can
Mhm.
check.
Yeah, sure. I'll check.
What would that be? Probably demonology.
Oh, my favorite.
I'll say ob 2 to discern specific consort demon elements. I also will, as you're rolling this and failing, I will take this time to specify that there are no tendrils to the empty mirrors or the ones with all that are Morrine.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
What's your op? Oh, you already.
Fail. That's
Um,
a really bad string of rolls for me. That's 5 in a
yeah,
row.
that was
I know.
Ugh.
pretty bad. You can't tell. Like it's pretty high up, and you're pretty like the circle's pretty big. It's probably like a 10-foot radius. Like they're not really close. So you can't get a good look, and you realize you're not going to be able to tell a lot more about the situation from this far away.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that's fine. We're not getting any closer. So, Hazel, I think we should leave.
Yeah.
That consort shadow on the ceiling just like faded out of existence.
Did
It
I
just
see
like
it?
receded into like it was. Yeah, you saw it.
Okay.
Like what would naturally have been a shadow if this were
Mhm.
a real room. Like it became that, and then that was gone. Like it just sort of became a shadow, and then the room returned to its like global illumination. It
Mhm.
wasn't like it just went back into the wall.
Sure. Okay. It didn't phase through to a different room. Okay.
Correct.
Maybe we should find other rooms with people in them and see what they're doing or not doing.
For what reason?
I don't know. What are we doing here? I don't understand what this place is. Clearly we've stumbled into some kind of horrible trap laid by monstrous powers.
Yeah.
Uh,
But okay, there has to be like I don't know. I feel like Ragaire told me that you had some place that you kept all this like really powerful artifacts in the abbey. Maybe this place has a similar place with other
That
things.
that was going to be my suggestion.
Oh, okay. Well, now you take credit for it.
I would like to lead us to the basement, and as I'm doing this, be on the lookout for shadows.
Okay. And you are speaking of Mistress
Yes.
Wilma's room. Okay.
Cellar.
The cellar, which you can luckily get to from the inside, so you don't have to go back out into the water. Um, as you're walking, like you're on the lookout for shadows, and now that you're looking, you can tell that there's always a shadow, like where there would normally be a shadow, but like
Mm-hmm.
you just get the impression of being watched by the shadow, and it's like now it's in that corner, and then you turn, and you see it maybe like behind where Hazel's standing. Like it's just where there would normally be shadows. Sometimes you look and there is a fleeting shadow, but
Hmm.
it's only ever one and it's momentary. But it seems to be traveling with you. Um,
Great.
as you approach Mistress Wilma's room, you hear an argument almost. You can't, like, as you're approaching it, you hear two people arguing, but you can't make out what they're saying. But, like, when you heard other things, it was like momentary. This one's prolonged.
Hmm. Yeah, great. Open up that door. Bust in. See what's
We're
going
not
on.
afraid anymore.
Nah. Everything here is ethereal, and I'm convinced it's not real. So, yeah, why not?
You just rip the door open. The room does have a statue of Wilma.
And
Oh
something else,
no.
apparently.
I had one of those things where I had an idea, and then when I was pressed to complete the idea I had was awful, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. Okay, there's like Mistress Wilma, and you can tell she's like upset, like her posturing. She's like, I mean, that she's facing somebody, and that person you can tell they were the two arguing.
Hmm.
Mistress Wilma is all stone, but around her is skin that looks like it's just sort of like she was unzipped on top, and then everything else has just fallen down to her feet. And it's like burned a little bit, like smoldering a little bit.
Yeah, okay, so there is Wilma,
Yes,
and at
with
her feet, the burned
is
Wilma skin suit?
correct.
Okay.
And the person she is facing is William, the bookkeeper. And you can still hear like murmurs of the argument, but now that you're in the room, it's much quieter, but you can still like hear them arguing, but you can't quite make it out. And it was much louder when you were outside of this room.
Step outside. Is it louder again?
Hmm.
Hmm.
What are
Hmm.
they arguing about? Can I listen?
Yeah, we'll call it either a perception or observation. Call it because like when you're outside the room, it's like they're speaking through a door, so it's not
Obtuse?
too hard. Yeah.
No. Excuse. Excuse.
That's a rough one.
Yikes. Do you have a call on?
Amnesiac. That's not gonna help. It's fine.
I'll allow it to help if you want to trigger it.
No, it's fine.
Okay. You hear Wilma say, she says, like, we must combine the forces. It's the only way. And then William goes, we just can't do it. And then they proceed to keep arguing, but you can't make out anymore.
Yeah. Have you considered that maybe your
She says we must
abbey
combine the powers,
powers?
not
Okay.
forces.
What? Have you considered that your abbey has been infiltrated by the consort and that you and everyone around you is doing his work? Have you considered that? Have you thought about that?
Um, no, I hadn't. So, just as a counterpoint, um, interactions with the consort are rare historically within the faith,
Okay.
and the consort and I have personally spoken, and I have rejected his ways. So, if I am an unwitting puppet to the machinations of the consort, I don't think I should be held liable for that.
Yeah, that checks out.
Okay, great. Please don't hurt me.
I'll give you guys a little bit of more information. We'll say part she's like sort of gesturing to maybe a book that William is holding, and like he's gripping it protectively, and she's like pointing at it, making a point. Like
Mhm.
you can tell she's making a verbal point, but she's stoned.
If we leave the room and then come back, are the stone statues in the same?
Like step out, close the door, reopen the door, look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same.
Good. That's good.
It's not an active argument. Okay,
That'd be funny if you
so
opened, they're gone. The skin is there though.
Oh god.
The skin is eternal.
Okay, well, I'll
about
go
the
in.
room. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll go in. Is the book real or is the book stone?
The book is stone, but like it's
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I can't read, but I'm gonna look at what the title says.
I can't read.
No.
You can't read.
Oh God.
You can tell like it's we'll say like white marble, but like there's black on it, and you can tell that there's right like you could read the page that is open, and you could read the title if you could read.
Okay. Brother Wirt, come read this book.
It's just like the consort to teach you magic, but not reading. This is his devilry at work. Basic life skills. He's not raised you properly. Yeah, read the book.
Do I want to utilize your investment into the skill read and risk you rolling 0 on an ob 1 read check?
Logan,
We'll say yes.
I have a B3 read. It's highly likely that I'll roll a 0.
We have to roll above a 3 at some point.
It's an ob 1.
at-
Oh, there
Okay.
you go.
Look
Okay,
at
we can read.
Styling on you with an extra success too. Come at me.
The book is titled Saint Glasgow and Unusual Methods of Combating Demons.
It's in Glasgow. Not Glasman?
No.
Ooh, wow. What if there's a relation there? Unusual methods of combating demons?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Gonna lock that in the mental library to go and look for later. I recite that title to Hazel. There you go. That's
Yep.
what the book is called.
Great.
What else is in the room artifact wise?
Artifact wise, it seems to be mostly like the remnants of her bed. Like you can see the chest is sort of rotted and fallen. Her bed is rotted in ruins.
Mhm.
So nothing baseline. You can make checks to look for artifacts of some type.
Yeah. Do you wanna help me with this,
Yeah.
Hazel?
I'll
Or
help
just
you with
shuffling around?
observation.
Wow. That's perception or ob, Logan.
We'll do observation. We'll do ob 3.
And +1.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope. Magic.
Now it seems you haven't seen much else in this abbey. It doesn't look like there's a lot of like other objects. It seems to just be these statues and like other like furniture, but you look around, there doesn't seem to be any like artifacts that you can tell.
Mhm.
But it doesn't look like there's any missing. It's not like, oh, here's a pedestal with a indentation where something used to be. It doesn't look like
Right.
it's been ransacked. It just doesn't look like there is anything here.
Okay.
Does the page of the demonology book say anything? Said that was open to.
Yeah, it's open and like it looks like she's pointing, but he's sort of clutching it, so you can't quite see the pages. I mean, you can see words, but like not even a full sentence, so you can't really get much information from that.
Is there enough fidelity to get an idea of how far into the book it is?
Yeah, we'll say you can read a page number. 78.
Okay, great. Easy to work with. To the library then?
You think the
Hazel?
book's here? I
Well,
thought we
if
were
it's going to
leaving.
be. Well, I think this is valuable information to have regardless, considering there's a demon in the town above us. But
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
think that
fine.
if there's a counter charm or a bell for leaving, library is probably the best place to look for it.
Okay.
And you have not verbalized when I told you your memory of leaving. That was in the chapel. That was the mirror room.
Yeah,
Is
I
where
don't
you
like
had
that
that.
though.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to remind you. Um,
It was
Hmm.
what mirrory when that happened too, or it was
Yeah.
just in that room. Yeah.
You don't remember that room. You just know you were in that room.
Okay.
So you go back to the library. It's as it was.
Start looking around. Find this book. Do a decimal system it up.
Research.
I don't. I can't read.
I'm opening it.
Research.
Yes. But apparently bureaucracy and administration and read don't count for research.
Well, I guess you tell me how you're looking. If you're just scanning books, that's probably research. You can make an argument for a different skill if you would like.
Say that. Oh, actually, ironically, research is just as good as administration, so probably just better off rolling research.
Even if you have to double the ob.
What's the
Well,
odd?
it's 4 dice versus 2 dice.
Oh. The ob will call it 2.
I can link astrology with you.
Do it. Let's go. I'm praying to the lady for divine intervention
I
on behalf
can't
of books
read, but
everywhere.
I can feel what's right.
You can recognize the
Symbols. Yeah, I'm
symbols.
really good at
Yeah,
symbols.
symbology. There you go.
Yeah, you're
So
like,
here's-
that letter looks like the constellation so-and-so. So you're just looking for
Yeah.
letters that look like constellation.
Perfect. I'll do astrology with symbology as a fork, and I will do that as a link.
We've got +1 from faith. Things are looking great.
There you go.
Oh, amazing. So that's +2.
Yeah.
You can spend fate, remember, because you're learning.
Oh, yeah, we're doing that.
I have to remind
Base
you of the
ob
rule we
2.
made up.
Yeah. Additional ob, there is none.
Yes!
Nice.
Hey!
I will say a success over will improve the condition of the book.
Oh, yeah, great. Sure, I'll roll another fate.
See, Sarah's not here to hear me make other people spend their fate, but it happened.
It's 2 dice.
Ugh.
Yeah, you get it. Just barely, though.
You do find the book pretty miraculously. You're just like, it's probably over here. And Hazel says, I don't know. The stars are pointing me that way. And you look over and she's just like pointing at the book. And you're like, ah, yes. And you go over and you
Of course.
gingerly, it is very fragile, but like you have the book and like you have it.
Okay. So 2 options. Save this for some light reading later, or we pour through the pages now.
I think we take it and we leave, and then we'll read
Yes.
it when we can leave.
That sounds great. Okay, so pocket the book, and I guess now look for ways to get out of here in the library.
So, Brother Wirt, here's what I know.
Oh.
I think when we originally left, we were doing magic in the chapel room. So we can try that, but it's not going to go well. Let me tell you that.
Try magic in the chapel.
Yeah.
What kind of magic? Magic that you know?
Magic.
Your answer has not instilled any confidence in me here. Um, in terms of magic, what kind of magic?
I don't know what kind of magic. We were learning it, so I don't know it
Ah, I see.
because
I
we
see.
didn't finish learning it.
You did not perform the magic. I see now. I see. Well, I certainly think that's the room that we found so far that has the most potential for being uh connected to the outside world. So let's. And we go.
Let's, and you go. Back to the ritual room. As you left it.
As we left
Great.
it. Great.
I will verbalize. I'll give you, I don't know, now you're coming back second time. Fresh look, fresh eyes. Not fresh eyes, those were in the statue, but
God. Ugh.
I think this is something Brother Wirt notices. Hazel would not, this wouldn't have any meaning to you. The statues with Morrine and
the
Alden.
mirrors?
Mirrors with Morrine and Alden.
Making sure they haven't changed.
Yeah. Like I said, it was sort of like it was like a scene, like it's a movie, and then it flashes to the next one. Alden's are all scenes with Odelia as you remember Odelia.
Mhm.
And all of Marin's are scenes of Marin and Lucas. And you recognize some of those scenes. Like you're like, I saw that happen.
Okay. So, working theory, Hazel, the people in the mirror are Alden and Marin,
Yeah,
but that is ancillary to the fact that Odelia and Lucas are also in the mirrors.
okay.
I think that they are just a connection to get to the children. Because the fact that we have 2 adults and 5 children in this little circle of bullshit.
I'll clarify. It is clear that Marin and Alden are the focus of the scenes. Like
Yes.
everything else is sort of out of focus.
Right. They are the focus of the scenes, but they are the focus of the scenes because they are a way to get to the children.
Yeah. You can I just wanted to clarify.
That is what I have posited
Yes.
forward.
And I don't even know the answer, so it could be right.
Great. Okay, but these are clearly scenes from the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't recognize all the Odelia ones, but you recognize quite a few of them. And then like you do occasionally see one of Odelia that you do recognize, like her and Alden making tea or something like that. It just seems like everyday scenes.
Sure.
Is that helpful?
In terms of getting out, I don't think so. But general knowledge of the situation, I should think very helpful.
Okay.
If we look at the pool again, is there any change to it? Is it shimmery, wavy, small grandpas coming out of it or anything?
Nope. Let it ride as your previous failure, so you don't have anything.
Great.
I think I'm just gonna try to remember whatever spell was happening and try to replicate it.
Okay. I will call it an ob to sorcery check. So
Up to?
you're not casting a spell. You're just sort of going through the
Remember.
motions of what you were doing.
Okay.
You're not affected by
Yep.
your penalty for casting spells.
Okay.
Your tax. This is just a check using sorcery.
Yep. I'm scared to assume that 6 dice will get me 2 successes.
It's fine. You're not me.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah. So you were casting like you don't even remember. It was an unrelated spell, but like you were casting it, it wasn't working. You and Ash were both getting upset, and you like got distracted, and you looked over, and there was like a thing you had never seen. You'd never seen anything like this, and you spent your entire life in this abbey. It was like this little, I don't know, like fish. It wasn't. It was like a. It wasn't. It didn't look like a fish, but you don't have another word to describe what this was
Okay.
when you were a little kid. It had like wings. It was black and yellow, and it was like moving through the air. And you were just like, "What is that?" And like it came up to you, and it like was buzzing,
Uh-huh.
and then it like hit you with its butt, and it hurt like right on your nose. And that is the last memory you had. Like you were stung by this buzzing fish. Your whole world was buzzing, and then you were in the woods. And then when you
Okay.
and Ash came to, you were both like holding your nose, like, "What was that?" And he had the exact same experience.
Brother Wirt, hear me
Yes.
out.
Hit me. Whatever you got.
You have
Nothing's too
bees.
crazy, I promise you. Yes.
You now,
I
you present
recognize
Hazel, know what a bee
bees
is. In the
now.
past, you had no
Yeah,
idea what
correct.
this was.
I am. Let's try to get stung by some bees. It might work. And if it doesn't,
Try to get. Why would getting stung
it
by?
worked before.
What?
Don't question it.
Well, I would just like a little bit of context is all. As
We
I
were
start
practicing
rummaging
magic
through my
and we
bag
got
for
stung
the
by
bees.
a bee and then we were gone.
As you've explained this to Brother Wirt, it becomes your memories solidify. And the bees, like you didn't just. It's like you initially was like, okay, we were practicing. Bam, we were stung by a bee. Bam, we were in the forest. As you're like going, like you're explaining it to the Brother Wirt, and then you do it again, and like you get a little bit more information each time, and it solidifies it. Like the bees came to you, and the bees, like were telling you to come with them. Like they stung you, and then there was a bunch of bees, and it was like, you have to come with us. And it was you're like, well, why? And it was like, you've been summoned. And then like it was just a bunch of buzzing, and the bees took you with them.
Yeah.
And it was like you just get flashes, and like you were flying through the air. You were seeing things you'd never seen before, like trees from above, and then you were put in the forest.
You have talking bees.
I don't, but I know who does, and Wirt is like visibly excited. Oh my god, he did it! The crazy old man did it! He actually summoned them. What? I don't understand. He's having a freak out moment. Okay. So how you got out of here the first time was you were summoned by Clotho.
Yeah. That's the tiny man?
That's the tiny man.
Okay.
And I'll give you another lead. So like the first time you remembered this room, the path the bees took you out, it wasn't just like through the roof. It was like through the building and like up one of the spires and like out one of the windows up top.
Unfortunately, being stung by any bee won't do anything. You were summoned out of here. So I think we currently have no plausible way to leave, unless there's something else that you were just told.
All bees aren't magic.
Not all bees are magic.
Oh.
Only the bees who are part of a summoning ritual as enacted by a summoner are magic bees.
It's hard when your first bees are talking bees. It really
It really does
yeah.
distort your perception of bees,
Yeah.
yes. Can really make the rest of bees a letdown.
Anyway, I think maybe at least we can try following the path that the bees took, because maybe the bees knew what was safe.
Let's do it. Go.
Go, go, go.
You go, you go, you go. And as you're like going up these stairs to the spire, you begin to hear a lot happening. Like it's like a big commotion is happening. Like there's a lot of voices, there's a lot happening at once. You hear Hazel, you hear your voice happening where you're like, we gotta go, Ash. And Ash was like, or maybe it's flipped. Maybe it's like Ash is like, we gotta go. And you're like, I don't think he wants us to. And he's like, but this is our chance. We gotta go. And then you hear Morrine and Alden's voice, and you hear Morrine go like, Odelia? And then she's like, where are you going? And like, they're like, there's just, you can almost see it in your mind of like the kids are going, Morrine and Alden are going, and there's a confusion, and Morrine is like pleading to get Odelia to come back. Alden is like doing his thing of being mopey and like real sad that
That the kids are running away.
yeah. And then you hear the consort's voice be like, "You can take them, but I'll take this." And you hear like a audible pluck, and then you hear Morrine and Alden's voice like get like sucked really far away. And then the commotion again, and you're silent in this fire.
God. So summoning bees is not always the solution. Sometimes it causes problems. Well, this is a real letdown for Wirt.
Emotional bee roller coaster.
Yeah. I assume we're like running up the stairs, and Wirt just like stops mid-step and freezes. Hazel,
We gotta go. Come on.
I have a feeling that Alden and Morrine are actually downstairs.
So those
I
are mirrors.
but they were taken.
Yeah. Well, they weren't taken. You said they turned into bees.
I think I don't know. I can't leave.
What do you mean you can't leave?
They're here. If we leave, are we going to be able to get back?
Maybe. We got here the first time.
I
We'll
didn't
find
get us here.
We'll find a way. Come on.
But fine. I trust you. Let's go. And he
You run
starts
up the
moving
spire.
again. Yeah.
Okay. You get to the top. The spire. There's the window. There's water outside of it. This is where you came out through this window with the bees.
Okay, let's go out the window.
I will first bless our ability to swim. Find that important in the moment. Or, even better, I could pray for guidance to give us the path through the water
Oh,
and out.
that's
If
good.
that helps.
Yeah.
Is that better than just making
That
us better
sounds better.
swimmers? Probably. Yeah. Okay. Guidance roll.
5.
5.
If you cast on me, it's on.
Well, I mean, it is on
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it is on 4. And then I do have a 6. So 3 out of 4. We're doing great.
Doing
Nothing
great.
Happens.
Do you have a call
Okay.
on?
Resourceful.
This one will have a consequence.
Oh, God.
Well, it's not like a consequence, more of like a something happens. It's not just nothing happens. So you're
Mhm.
like, okay. We're praying. We're going through that window. You dive through that window, and you like it's like a sheet of water, and like you are in air. Then you're going through a sheet of water, and then you're in air again, and you sort of like fall a little bit because it is a window really high up, and you tumble, and you're back in the first door you came through.
Hmm.
And the book is like, I don't know, you had the book and it sort of like falls open and like opens to a page.
Okay. What page does it open to? 78?
78.
Amazing. Well, okay. Maybe we should read this before we leave. It just feels important in the moment.
Okay, what does it say? You read it.
Hey, brother, we're gonna do an ob 1 read. A lot hinges on this.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that for me. Just bare roll too. I'm not even gonna do anything to. No buffs, no blesses.
You can read.
I can read.
Perfect.
I can read.
Yeah. So you look at it and you read, and this is a chapter, like it is unusual means of combating demons. This is a particular entry about sometimes demons cannot just be combated with faith, and they seem to be when a demon is of the faith. That's a particularly unuseful method to do it. Um, some people, though shunned, have had success when they take the powers of sorcery and combine it with faith, and it's particularly effective. But it goes on to say how the author is unsure if this is actually effective, and most people that have tried it have been shunned and cast out of the church for heresy because the faith can accomplish anything through Her Lady's guidance, and sorcery is a mockery of power. And it just goes on and starts rambling about how that's not real.
Yeah, sure, totally. Okay. So, bad news. Not the most helpful for getting out right now, I think. Sorcery and faith combined is the way to get rid of demons that are bad juju faith demons.
Okay. Is the consort a bad juju faith demon?
Oh, I mean, Grandpappy, bad juju faith demon.
Okay.
He's here,
Yeah.
right? I look in the shadows. Do I see him nearby?
No.
Okay, so he's not here, but he's here. Maybe we need to get rid of him? Is that what yeah. Yeah. We gotta banish the demon.
We gotta banish a demon.
Uh-huh, yeah, totally.
How do we do that?
I have no idea. I've read a lot of stories. I've never done it. But that might be our only way out of here.
Well, do we do that in the? Let's go to the mirror room. That seems like the place to do it.
I should think so. Yes. Back to the room.
You enter the dining room on your way to the ritual chamber,
God.
and you see again this face and the body that is just an afterthought. And it's sort of caressing with one hand two statues that have not been there, and they look just like you
Hmm.
two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like caressing Brother Wirt statue face, and like digs its hand into it, and you swear you can almost feel it on
Yeah,
your
sure.
skin. It's not overt. It's just you can't tell if you're just like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, my brain is messing with me. It's not like it's not a physical touch. It's like an emotional, upset touch.
It's an emotional touch.
Yeah, and it says the consort, the face says, "I'm thinking of expanding my collection since you've been gone for so long."
I assume the head tilt was him saying that then to Hazel.
Yes, and you can see
Yeah.
it grabbing a Hazel head statue
Mm-hmm.
and squeezing, and then Hazel, you feel the emotional bad touch squeeze.
I hate emotional bad touch squeak.
Well, unless it's going to physically stop us from getting to the room, I say we just keep on trucking.
Or it's right here.
Right, but you said magic more better in the other room.
Well, I said that, but I don't actually know that.
Okay.
You feel the bad touch emotional. It's getting more and more strong as it seems to be doing something to these statues and like giving you this big smile.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to be here, not in the big room.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well.
You feel this is your one shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to die to this demon.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna tell you
sweet
guys what to
Jesus.
do.
Yeah, I'm spending a fate to not ignore my wounds for
Okay.
the starter.
You are gonna make an Ob 8 sorcery check.
Yeah.
You're gonna make an Ob 10 sorcery check.
Yeah.
Brother Wirt, you're gonna make an Ob 10 faith check.
Uh huh.
Please proceed.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna roll consecration, but this is probably more fun, right? This is totally great.
Here's my theory. I think we need a combination of 10. Like, together we need 10.
Yes. I think that while we are doing this, Wirt is going to have like a handout and like try to hold Hazel's hand.
Yeah,
And,
she'll
like-
hold your hand.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That's cool.
We're just gonna roll it then. Ooh, not 12. That would be worse. All right, you or me first. What's happening?
I'm gonna spend a persona.
Oh, I'm spending 2 persona.
Okay, I'll spend both mine too then. That's fine.
We ain't holding nothing back here.
Do I have anything else? Sure, I'll fork in astrology too. That's 1 fork to Artha. Oh, it's so close. Okay, spend a fate, reroll a traitor.
I'm gonna spend a fate to also reroll a traitor.
Assuming that we're right.
Wouldn't that be fun if I
Yay!
was just like, actually, you both didn't get 10. Sorry.
Yeah, neither of you succeeded on your challenging tests.
Okay, so yes, you did need a combined 10 to do it. So, Brother Wirt, you start praying. Hazel, you're gripping his hand and you just start like channeling sorcery. You're not even like casting a spell. You're just like taking in magic. You're like, I gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta do it. Brother Wirt, you're praying and you guys like, I don't know. What do you think your contribution to this looks like, Hazel? I'll let you describe it.
What is my contribution to it? I think Brother Wirt, we're holding hands, so you can feel like a static charge at the beginning, maybe.
Mhm.
But it kind of discharges, like, you don't feel static charge if everything's charged the same, and the abbey all becomes like a static charge. And so
Yeah,
they're
Brother
like
Wirt?
sparking and stuff.
Okay. Wirt is not a particularly creative man. He knows some consecration rituals, and to banish and drive forth minor evils. We're gonna do that. Except we're gonna do it really hard.
Yeah. So you have this little consecration circle sort of appear around the consort, and it happens a lot of times, but it's now sparking, and you've never visually seen it. You've just like felt the presence of it, but like you could see the sparking of the circle, and it's like a
Mhm.
bird cage almost, of like these sparks all around it. And the consort like retracts its hands, like your statues are outside of this bird cage, and it seems to be stuck in it. And the bird cage gets smaller and smaller as the consort is like crushed and crushed and crushed, and it like keeps going. It's a little gruesome because as it starts to like get to its face, it's like cracking and like the smile is like coming unhinged and breaking apart. You can tell it's still a smile. It's like a smile if like a stained glass smile was broken and all the pieces were now just like getting crushed and crushed and crushed. And it just like starts like groaning and then screaming and then crying and then it gets so small and it just becomes like this, I don't know, black bead marble with like I don't know, the occasional like spark around it, and it just like ding ding falls to the floor.
Hmm. It's just a marble on the ground now.
And then you start to hear dripping,
Mhm.
and you look up and like water is starting to fall, and then you hear like pitter patter like it's raining, and like you notice the water level is rising quite rapidly, and you're not also rising. Like when you were falling, like outside the when you were getting here, like you weren't able to swim and you were being dragged down. That's still happening. You're not swimming, but now like the water is very quickly rising, and before you can even do anything, you're underwater again, and you still are trying to swim up. You can't, and One of you make, both of you make fort. These are no consequence. I just wanted to see who has a higher fort check.
Let me tell you what, it's not me.
Oh, I'm taxed, so it might be you.
It's taxed and we still tied. You got a 6 and can re-roll a thing. I didn't.
I'm not re-rolling that. It's no consequence. We're
That's fine.
equally good
You
at
guys are
everything.
holding your hands, and you both are struggling to breathe, and you can tell the other one is struggling to breathe, but nothing's happening. You're like, I thought we would solve this problem and we'd be out of here, but you're now just suffocating at the bottom of this lake. And we'll say you both break at the same time and like take an inhale of water, and you're now actively drowning. And when your lights go out as you drown under this lake, you're cold and above the ice, coughing, both of you. And you're just like expelling water from your lungs. Like you had to go through actual drowning, but now you're on top of the ice again.
Wow.
Wow.
Connor, your present is that was a successful challenging faith roll.
Wow, that's a good present.
That is a good present.
That was also a successful challenging sorcery check.
I don't have to succeed.
Oh.
Ugh.
Well, it was a challenging.
yeah, it's
You
good.
still get that.
I love that narrative. That's really fun. Wirt got that bead.
Oh, I also want
that's
that
fine.
bead. Yeah, one of us has
Okay.
it.
That bead is in the bottle from when we were descending.
Yeah.
And I have now sealed it.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
Nice,
Wirt
yeah.
comes to above the water, and like literally the first thing is bottle, bead in there. I'm holding it. I'm wrapping it in more cloth. I am doing literally everything to physically detain this bottle.
Perfect. And as you guys are on top of the ice, we'll call your part of the story done for the night.
Wow.
God.
Wasn't that fun?
So
We
fun.
will take a
I died.
break. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we will have part 2 of the session with our other 2 fun players. So say goodbye to these 2.
How are they going to top this? I don't understand. Like, this was ridiculous.
And we are back from our 10-minute break. And as you can see, I've traded out two of my lovely players for two different lovely players. So this is they're going to be their solo adventure as they are in the town with a very benevolent demon, and they are going to go about trying to solve that problem. So we will set the stage. We have new bits across the board because they're sort of doing their own thing. So let's go ahead and share those. We'll start with Ada.
Alrighty, so Ada does have a couple new bits. First one is still the same though. The Beeman has wrought death in this town, and I will make sure it is met in kind. Number two, as a knight of the realm, God Zamira is a useful ally against the demon. I will recruit her to our cause. And number three, the Duchess was here and now has disappeared. We need to locate her or at least find out if she is still nearby.
Perfect. And Ragaire.
All right, I'm still committed to going to Lord Stravitt's manor, but we all know that's not happening right now. So my other two beliefs are the Duchess is still our main threat. I should investigate where she went before we happen upon her or Henry. And I really hate this town. The sooner we destroy the demon, the faster we leave with the artifact. I'll take matters into my own hands.
Perfect. So, where are you guys right now? What happened to you last time we played?
I think
Ada.
we're lurking casually in the woods.
Yeah, I think we're on the edge of the woods looking into town. We were sort of stalking the demon to see if it would
And then
do anything
Godzimira happened
crazy.
upon us in the
Mhm.
woods.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we found Godzimira, and we learned the news that our two friends have disappeared underneath the water, the ice.
You don't know they're underwater. You just know they are no longer
On the ice.
on
We
the
don't
lake.
know. You're correct. Yes,
And
they are
there's
not
no
where they're
footsteps.
supposed to be.
I couldn't see any footsteps leading off of the ice, so they have
Correct.
either walked backwards over their tracks or they
They're very stealthy, those two.
Yeah, infamously stealthy too. We
infamously coordinated.
Okay, perfect. So we will pick up there. Godzimira had mentioned that she has a camp sort of nearby. It's out in the colder part of the forest beyond the influence of the spirit of summer. Um, she is just sort of waiting for your lead if you're going to do something else here tonight before you go back to the camp with her. You guys had sort of talked about letting the influence of the food on the people sort of run its course. Godzimira had mentioned that they all got their food from her or from the demon every day, daily, and so she would assume that the influence would last daily.
I want to do a
Yeah.
health check before we get to
Okay.
because I still have a superficial wound.
hmm So you need to make a health check, which is this a superficial wound?
Yep.
One health check.
Woohoo! Barely made it.
With
Seven.
7,
On a 7.
Jesus.
And you got a 2. Okay, we are off to a good start. But yes,
But I
you
feel
are
a new lease on life.
yes. You're no longer what was it? The stinging on your face from being slapped by grapes has finally dulled.
So rude. I just thought he had echolocation. The slap was not necessary. Okay.
Yes. So I think yeah, Ada is like we'll be able to deal with this better in the morning. Why don't we just go back to your camp, keep a watch out for the night, and hope the demon doesn't launch a search for us.
Jesus. I think that's a good idea. 4 pairs of eyes are better than 2, so we can
Four
make our way.
How many eyes you got, Godzamira?
I only have 1 pair of eyes. You both have 1 pair of eyes, and then my campmate has a pair of eyes.
Who's your
Oh, you have a
campmate?
campmate.
Yeah, he can introduce himself.
Let's do it.
Okay. It
Bring us to your camp,
sounds
Godzamira.
great. This is name Graves.
No, what an unusual name for a person. Uh, so she makes her
Person is
way.
a strong word.
You all make your way out. You're sort of shook by the sudden drop in temperature. You were used to the cold for the longest time, and you have very quickly got used to the heat. It was a welcome development, and now you are miserable to be back in the cold. Um, she takes you a little ways, like beyond the border of this temperature change, and you see a rather small campfire. It's like not a roaring thing, but there's not that much smoke, so it's pretty well hidden. And you see sort of this man sitting by the fire. He has like almost reminiscent of Brother Wirt. Like he's very warmly dressed. He has a bunch of like cloaks on him. Um, and he's sort of sitting there. He has like a teapot going on the fire. He says, "Oh God, Zamira, is that you? Are you back?" And she says, "Yes, I'm back. I've brought friends from the town. Old friends from the town. Well, old friends now in
Friend is a
town.
strong word.
Yes, acquaintances more like.
Friends.
But that they have proven that they don't like demons, so I think we can trust them." He says, "Okay, that's good enough for me. He says, can I offer you tea?"
Can we see his face at all, or is he
Yeah,
still
he's
okay?
just he's a human. He's like pretty gruff. He's probably like middle aged. He's got a pretty scraggly beard. It looks like he's been traveling for a while. Not he does not look like a like city dweller noble. Or if he was, it was long ago. He looks travel worn and like pretty hardened, but he has a welcoming enough face at first glance.
I take the tea and I use it to warm my hands.
Mhm.
I'm on a strict no tea diet after a recent um a recent let's I had a bad reaction. We'll just put it at
Mm,
that.
that was more for me then, I guess.
But I appreciate the offer.
So Godzamira here says you all encountered a demon before,
Oh, um multiple times one might
mm,
even say actually.
and you've
And
made it this far. That is quite remarkable.
it's truly a miracle of Tudum every time we make it out the door, it feels like.
You don't have nothing to do with demons.
Yeah.
Godzamira sort of like hisses at that, and she's like, "Udom can protect us from." He's like, "Ah, I've heard it before, Godzamira. Please spare me." She
Ooh,
sort of
he a
huffs
grumpy
and she
boy.
sits down. She takes some of the tea. It seems like it's not unfriendly banter, but you can tell that are they've got to the point where they were annoying each other and now they're just used to each other, but they don't seem like they're great friends.
Got it. So, what brings you here to this demonic place?
The demon Eridas.
Yes, we've met her.
Mm, pretty
Uh,
unfortunate creature, that one.
I
I'm
would agree.
surprised you, when he points to Ragaire, I'm surprised you made it away from that encounter.
I
Oh,
surprise a lot of
just
people.
by the love of the grave. But I think we've skipped over something. My name's Ada. What can I call you?
You can call me Glasman.
Glosman?
Mm-hmm. I can't hear you. You're gonna have to
You
speak
cut
up.
out.
I was
Stop
mumbling
mumbling,
your
girl.
name under my breath. Well, Glosman, you seem like a well-traveled sort of folk. Have you been in these lands for a while, or are you
No,
passing
I've
through?
been on the trail of Eridaz for some time now, and that's what brought me to these lands. I can't say I rather enjoy them. Quite cold and miserable, if you ask me.
Oh, have you been into town yet?
We're working on it.
No, I have not been into town. I thought that would be unwise.
Well, we cut off her food supply, so we're hoping that should make her a little bit weaker tomorrow morning.
What do you mean her food supply?
The supply of food she was giving villagers, her
Hmm.
complicit believers. I don't know what she eats, but
I
everybody
think
else in
that
the
will
town.
do some good. We've sort of been watching, and it seems like the effects of that food last about a day at most. Um, how did you take out her food? What would stop her from just making more?
Well, she might be able to make more since we don't know the exact process, but actually, I think I still
Wait,
have.
do you have Sonia still over your
I
shoulder?
Who is
I
that
still
woman, and
have
who's that bundle right there?
Sonia.
I was like, oh no, we
um,
left Sonia in the forest.
Either we have her or we would have picked her back up. I
Yeah,
mean, I
you
wouldn't
have
have
her.
left her. Uh, yes. So, I'll set Sonia down. And this poor woman was the I guess the sort of sacrificial lamb, we'll say, help
Blood
get some
donor.
of the food. And
Mm,
we've removed, I guess, two elements of whatever she was using corpses and then this woman's blood. So I'm guessing she could make more, but I don't know if it
well,
takes time or if there was something special about those pieces in particular.
that she won't like that, but I think that'll probably buy us at least a day. She can probably work her way around this, but it'll take her some time. She definitely will not have food for the morning.
How do you know all this?
I've been tracking Arados for some time now.
How much time is some time? Because we heard Eridaz is like millennia of minutes old.
She's an ancient demon. I have not been tracking her for that long, but most of my life.
Most of your life. Wow. Why?
She took something from me, and I want it back.
What'd she take?
The life of my son.
How are you gonna get back?
And
You usually
exact
can't get that
revenge.
back.
No, but I can make her pay.
That is a respectable goal.
All right. Then I look over to Ada. Okay, was it a necromantic answer? That's pretty good.
And it nods along.
You look behind him, there's a summoning circle just in the ground behind him.
I set
He's
down
got
my
a
backpack
vial of
made out of
black
human
blood
out of
clinking.
elven bones.
Yeah, true, says the elf with bones on her back. Uh, okay. Well, um,
Well, I think we got to kill her. Namely, I got to kill her. Namely, swords are the only
someone's got to
solution.
kill her. Hopefully, all of us can be involved. Ada looks at Godzamira. We have a knight and demon hunter, a elvish warrior, and a woman with a lot of chutzpah.
And her. He points to Sonia.
And she's injured. She's not included. She's recovering still.
Okay, so what's your
Though
plan
she
then?
is the actual countess, so we could bring her into town to see if that disrupts the populace more. Might not be a bad idea.
So you've destroyed her food supply. What's your next step of your plan?
Destroy the demon. Very
Ah,
simple.
okay. Just
Just a
step
simple
one,
1-2 step.
step two.
I
Attack
think there was
demon.
an intermediary step was wait until morning.
Mhm.
Uh,
Like I said, if we're going to strike her, I think tomorrow is the best option. Because beyond that, I don't know how long it'll take her to become as powerful as she is now again. But she'll most likely be significantly weakened without her. It's just a form of worship that she extracts from these people that empowers her. So without that,
I think it was a tea party.
the tea party.
That was the form of worship. They all
the
came for dinner parties.
another reason
No,
why I
no, the
refuse tea these
food. She
days.
was she was putting them into a entrancement with the food, and then they were
Okay.
worshipping her more or less. But she drew power from that.
So are
So
you a swordsman? How are we going to do this? I take the
I
front, you
can.
take the back?
I wielded a sword in my younger days. I don't know if I can anymore.
I take the right, you take the left? I'm not here.
How old is he?
It's like 35.
In your younger days.
So what you
He's
gonna do?
probably 45.
So you more of an intellectual demon hunter, or
I've heard sometimes rituals can be a thing that humans use. Oh, you got any of those?
No, I don't know any rituals, but
None for fire or
no
sword.
one knows any rituals of the
mm,
appropriate kind.
no. Uh, demons are not things that you can normally just slay with a steel sword, but I think in her weakened state, she might be susceptible to that, or we might need a little more.
So are you here just
I
to
mean,
cheer us
what else
on?
would you
Why'd you come here?
suggest?
I was here before you arrived, so
So what would you
Yes,
suggest?
but were you just gonna follow her forever, or were you going to actually figure out a plan to deal with her?
uh, I am on no time limit, but you have all presented yourself, and it seems like a good opportunity for us to make
God,
some
Zamira,
progress.
I
So
know
how do you
you're
feel
up.
about fire?
Fire can be cleansing of most evils, or it can
Can
also
we
be the
can we
weapon of
That
evil.
interrogate
has
this man
not
to be
been
more
true.
forthcoming?
Yeah. You can, I mean, you can interrogate him, or you can persuade him,
It's my
or
only social skill, so if anything nicer is gonna happen, Ada has to do.
you can open things,
I can. You're right. I can.
Sarah.
Persuasion's really hard to open.
Yeah.
What do I
It
have?
doubles their will.
Intimidation is also a skill that I've opened but have not gotten. Use on
Classic.
wise. Oh,
Uh,
use on wise. Such a good
good
skill.
old use unwise.
I've used it twice. If we spend a skill, will he be more forthcoming or is he
Yes.
just okay?
Well, I can persuade him.
Okay, we'll say his will is 5.
Good lord.
But he is
Um,
amenable. Like, you have Godzimiros vouching for you, so you can have an advantage. Or, well, actually, I'll make it just decrease the ob from that. So it's 4.
4.
okay. Well, my persuasion is 4. Let's see. I can uh mm, good good falsehood.
You
Yeah,
could come
sure.
up
We'll
with a really
falsehood.
a bad
We'll do a
plan.
tall tale, of course. And I don't know if there's any haggling we can bring in, but I'm wondering, like, I have a lot of sort of survival skills, so like tracking. Oh yeah, can I fork in tracking? Like he's been tracking her. We've
He
not been
has.
tracking her, but I want to like develop a rapport with
He
him
Okay.
wants to
Yes.
bond.
through like
Yes.
as another outdoors woman who's traveled a lot.
Yes.
I'm gonna do that through tracking. So, oh yeah, let's.
Can I help with sword? Either
I think that
by
makes sense as a capable like.
yeah, so I'm like, and then we could come at him like this, and then and then
Get
like,
The
where
sort
did
of
you study? You know, being like, oh, in your younger days, where did you study? Or you fight with your right hand, or you fight with your left hand? You know,
mhm.
um,
I only know Elvish schools, but I'm sure the human schools are great too.
I'm sure. Kazimira, give me a demonstration, and we
Or you could do a little duel, a little warm up duel with Godzamira. Okay,
yeah,
so I'll do. Okay, so that's 4.
you get 2 from sword.
I get 2 from sword. I get 2 from tracking too. We tracked a
Ooh,
lot.
you can really track.
I am really good at tracking.
Do forks or forks always ever one?
Oh, that's a good question.
I
Forks are
think forks
1.
are always one,
Help
and
is 2.
helping is 2.
Correct.
Oh, you're right. You're
I
right.
had
Okay, so
that.
my fork is only 1, but the sword is still.
Yes.
Mhm.
You're right. That would have been too good otherwise. Okay, so that's 3. And let's see. What's my taunt? So Ada sits down in front of the fire. She kind of like pokes at it a little bit, and wow, back in my younger days as well, I used to be a little bit of a spitfire myself, and I had this group of friends that I used to run with, and we heard a tale of a strange force inhabiting this set of caves and tunnels in one of the nearby mountains. I was the tracker of the group, so I used my keen senses to get us close so we could figure out what it was and save that town from this evil menace that was abducting children. And it was through my quick wit and excellent tracking skills that I was able to find a secret tunnel to a group of cultists that were attempting to summon a fresh demon. And luckily we stopped them just in time. But I've got experience with this kind of work, and I think with your help we can really show
We'd really love
whatever
to know what your plan
this
is.
demon's name. We can show that demon who's who.
And what is your intent?
What is my intent? I mean, his help confronting the demon
Mhm.
is preferable. I don't know if for him that's gonna look like actually being there or giving more specific advice of like, is there
I like him
like
revealing more
we've
information.
talked about like a silver stake, yeah, like another weakness that he's somehow discovered over all this time he's wasted tracking her and doing nothing. Uh, or he can help be a distraction or provide something at critical moment of meeting.
Okay.
So, wow. Okay, let me add all my stuff up. So we've got 2 from Sarah. Then we've got 3 from Falsehood, Tall Tale, and Tall Tale, and Tracking, and then I'll do it carefully. 6, 4. No, are that based off? Whoa.
Nice.
Whoa, look at all those 6s. Can I get something if I fade it?
Sure. We'll save you.
Spend that fate.
Yeah, I'll take into account how many successes you get.
This is the problem. I usually always get them on the 6s on things I've already succeeded at.
Yeah.
Was it 4? You look at that.
Oh my goodness. 9 to 4. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So he's like, you go on this spiel. You get him with the empathetic. You're like something about children because he had a son, and so
Oh,
you
that's
really
true. I didn't even
appeal to his yeah. He's sort of nodding along, and he sort of as you go, he's finished his tea, and when you sort of finish your spiel, he sort of stands up. He like brushes off his um like robes and he has a mace. Now you see he doesn't have a blade, he has a mace. He sort of draws it. He's quite agile. He sort of like tosses it in the air, grabs the head of it, and then uses the like handle to like start drawing in um the snow, I guess. And so he's like, okay, so this is what I've been thinking. So the demon has been summoned here by some force. We don't know who, where, or how, but if we can't kill her, which I don't think we can, I don't know how good you are with the sword, elf, but I don't know if you're that good.
Super good.
So I'm thinking we do something called a reverse summoning. It's pretty technical, but it's essentially works in the same way as a summoning, but it's more of like a
Sorry, is that
banishment.
called a banishment?
Banishment is a totally different exercise. This is different. You use the same bits of summoning, but you invert them, and then you sort of suck the demon in, and then you shove them back where they belong. A banishment sends them to a different plane. When you do, trust me, totally different. So I don't think we have the equipment for a banishment of any capacity at the time. And so he starts drawing out. What you can see now is the town of Krishi, and he says, so I don't know what it is, but there's a nexus of energy somewhere, and he points to the center of town. You all know that is the pagoda, the spirit.
Yeah.
He says, I'm unfamiliar with this energy signature, but it seems quite strong, and I think we might be able to tap into some of that to sort of power this anti-summoning. And he starts drawing like sigils around the town. He says, I've been marking on some of these buildings. There's sigils sort of going, isn't it? You start to see now he's like drawing a summoning circle that is encompassing the whole town. And he's like marking where he has already done work. And he's saying these are still spots that need more like sigils to complete the actual circle itself. And he says, so Gardamir has been helping me as well. So 2 hands are better than, or 4 hands are better than 2, but 8 is twice again as much.
So, do we need to finish the rest of this tonight, or
We could wait until morning probably.
how many spots are left on his little map?
We'll say like 12 spots. And they're sort of in more of a difficult, like you can see he's done the easy ones that are over next to like the forest, and some of the remaining ones are more on like the water side where like you wouldn't be able to hide as well. One of them's even like inside of the town on a building. Like a couple of them need to be like off of the circle further inside. And there's maybe a couple of them there that need to be done as well. So it doesn't look like a lot of, well, it's not like you have to draw the whole circle, but it does seem like there is a bit of work that needs to be done.
How has he been drawing these marks?
You have to draw them in blood. Like I said, you summon a demon with the blood. So the anti-summoning uses, like I said, the same things. They're just inverted. So she holds up his palm, and like you can see there's a bunch of like knife cuts in it. Like repeatedly, you see he's been doing it day to day.
Why do humans love using blood so much? What's that about?
We just are really good at making it. It's
Yeah.
expendable.
So does it all have to be your blood, or can it be
No,
God's
no,
mirror?
it-
Use her
it-
blood too.
She's like holds up her hand. She says, "Yes." So you want to join our blood gang now? I see that's sort of what's happening here.
I feel so at home.
We get kicked out of one blood-based gang, and then we
So,
get
by the way, I have
inducted
this
into another
vial
blood
of
gang.
black liquid I found.
Ooh, while you have an open wound, let me apply.
Uh,
To solidify our brothership, um, will elven blood work?
I don't see why not, as long as you're not evil.
Eh, usually not.
Okay.
What do you think, Ada?
I'm thinking that the town is probably going to be on high alert from now on. So I'm not sure if it's better to keep going tonight when at least we have the cover of darkness, or to wait until the morning where they might be slightly more unprepared or unfocused.
I
Uh,
mean, that's a good point. It's up to you. We could do either way.
but if we need the demon weaker, we'll have to wait till the morning anyways. How do you activate this
Oh,
unsummoning?
that is step 2. We'll get to that once the circle is complete.
Oh, can we know step
How
2 now?
how are we tapping into this energy source?
You have to, like I said, the source is there, and we're just going to no, we're gonna tap into it. We're sort of just gonna skim some of it off the top to power the size of this circle.
Whoa, I'm sure it's gonna love that.
I bet you probably won't even notice.
That's what they all say.
Anyway, to actually activate the ritual, there's some steps we have to go through. I'll coach you through those, and then he like points out the spots. There's 5 spots around the circle. He said, so we're gonna need people here, 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 and here, and then we're going to have these sort of these things that we have to do at these spots. But as you can see, he says, if you're here, you're here, you're here, and I'm here. He points to the last spot that's still unoccupied.
Who goes there?
Who goes there?
Sir,
Countess.
you are making me feel more worried every time you say
But you do have anyone in town you trust? Anyone who, or any other friends who are readily available?
truly.
Yeah, keyword might be readily available.
A quandary at the moment. We might have 2 people who could fill that spot, depending on if they reappear.
Well, we have one shot at this tomorrow, probably. This is a one-time use ritual, most likely. Eridas will know
So
when it
what
is
happens?
happening.
Where does she go when she's boo
We'll need her. We'll need her somewhere inside the circle. It doesn't. The precise placement is not all that important, but she just has to be inside of it. She'll know it's happening, and that's why we should do it when she's
So
weaker,
I'm
so she
hearing
can't
that there's
stop
very
us.
little sword play involved in this ritual.
You know. No. See, I haven't told you about step 3. That's quite so. Okay. So step 1, we complete the circle. Step 2, we activate the anti-summoning ritual, and we unsummon her essence, but
with
her
mystery
with
things.
mystery powers. Yes, but her body is still here, and her body must be slew, and it's still animated. So that is
Slew?
where you and your sword can come in. It won't be the demon. It's just sort of a husk of evil, if you will.
I love nothing more than slaying husks of evil. Well, I feel like we should just go ahead and put those runes in tonight. Or at least the hard ones that are super close to the village.
That's okay. He starts drawing some, like in the snow. He's like, okay, so these are the, and he's like just going. And it's up to you guys to try and keep along. So we're gonna make a check of some sort to like remember these sigils that he's drawing.
Great.
A
It can be,
memorization check.
it can be like Arcana. It can be
How about observation?
observation. Maybe like sorcery wise might also work because it is
I do have
magic
sorcery wise.
related. You could even do something like writing.
Yeah, I was gonna say either right or perception.
I think right makes the most sense for you. Um, we'll call it ob 2.
Ada's very good at writing.
Is she actually?
She got op 1.
So okay,
Got
She
so
got
two.
1 in writing.
ob 2, and so there's not going to really be a consequence for this, but like successes under will hurt your check to do this later, and successes over will help you later. So this is sort of like modulating the check to make it when you're actually drawing the sigil in real time.
Capiche.
So you can do this
Mhm.
carefully because you have all night. You can do forks and whatnot. This one's not very time dependent. It's a linked test, if you will. The rule just came back to me. Well,
My
here I was
goodness, like
thinking I
we've
was
thought of
coming up with this
everything.
fun
Nope.
mechanic. Turns out it's actually something that exists
It's
in the game
already
already.
created. How dare they?
It was so fun. You knew it was just an integral part of the game already. Okay, let's see.
Do you want me to go first or do you want to go?
Could I? So hear me out.
Uh-huh.
So it's a magical symbol, right?
Yes.
It's like a magical symbol, okay?
Uh-huh.
And I study magical things.
It's not
Magical
an artifact. It's
artifacts.
not an artifact.
And magical art, you're not listening to me.
Okay, okay.
Magical artifacts have scripts on them, oftentimes. Magical scripts.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an artifact wise test.
I won't let you make it as the test, but I'll let you fork it in.
Fine.
Logan, tell me what the
Mhm.
situation is with
There's
roads.
no road in sight.
Like, is this a Full Metal Alchemist? The roads are the circle situation, or
All roads are carved in blood. That's a fact.
roads are
No.
circles? Okay, that's
I
fine.
don't think roadwise applies here, unfortunately.
I
No,
have
he's
to
not.
ask
Those
you at
the
least
roads
once
are
a
not
session.
part of the circle. The sigils are just around.
Got it. Can I use sorcery wise? Does that
Yeah.
sound like the best?
Yes,
You said ob 2.
correct.
Uh, I'm gonna work in artifact wise, and then Ada's gonna make a mnemonic, and she's gonna sing to herself under her breath. Get this down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also gonna fork in sing.
Okay.
Clever.
Are you gonna do it carefully?
Of course. Use a persona? No. Never. I don't want a persona in right. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to use sorcery wise.
Mhm.
And I'm going to fork in elven script since you said that's like elvish writing. And I'm going to be like, this squiggle is like the elven A, but turns sideways and blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to go careful.
Okay. So Ada, as you're doing this little mnemonic and you're singing under your breath, he says, "Okay, great. Now you're also going to have to do this chant while you're drawing it. So your whole mnemonic gets thrown out the window. You get flustered. You are able to remember it and mark it down, but you have to do it a little slower than you otherwise would." Sarah succeeded. You got a 6, so successes here over the ob do matter quite a
Boy, you just want me to spin my fate, don't you?
bit.
But I take it every time. so sure. I will spin that fate. Remaining ob, there is none. Okay. Dice. 1. Let's go.
Nice. So you have a 1 die advantage when you make the check to actually write it down. So it's not elven script. You know, it's sort of similar. So it's you can remember it for the most part pretty easily. Ada, you eventually what clicks you you're distracted while you're writing this down, and you're just because you've seen stuff like this before, and that's really what you're thinking about. It's like, well, yeah, this old man's rambling. I don't care. Where have I seen this stuff before? You've seen this writing. It is sort of like the holy script of Brother Wirt's faith. Like this is what they use. Like you've seen it on their artifacts before.
Okay. Um, Interesting. Well, I will ask him.
Wait, Logan. Do I know who this man is?
I don't know. You've never met him.
Okay, I'll keep my theory to
What
myself.
is Wirt's religion called?
It's just the lady. He has a real name.
The
None of us know it.
lady.
It's Brother Wirt's religion is what it's called.
Yeah, I was like, I know Tudum, but I do not know what the official name for that is. But I'll ask him anyways. I'll say, um, I've traveled quite a bit, and this getting distracted, unfortunately. But this looks very familiar. Are you a follower of the lady by any chance?
That I am.
Another.
His name is
um,
Glausman.
Yeah, does not start with a W.
He's obviously a blasphemer. Um, Oh, that's quite interesting. We are actually good friends with a priest of Her Lady. Um, funny, funny how those things work out that way.
Mm. Well, I don't. Maybe that individual sort of. Who knows? Maybe they've prayed for guidance, and that is why the lady led me to you.
I'm sure that is what happened.
I
Can
I
I?
can sense there has been a reaching out to her recently, and it was probably on how to slay a demon. That does seem to be the most pressing issue, which is probably what that
Yeah.
individual was asking for.
Yes, definitely. Yep. Yeah, he's very good at communicating with the lady too, so
Mm,
I'm sure he reached out and he's her favorite, so she
mm.
just immediately helped him by
Well, I'll need
bringing
to
you to
meet this
us.
individual. Well, what's
Yep,
his name?
there. Um, well, we'll just introduce you once he's here. I mean,
Okay.
he'll be back in a little. He's off doing some work for Her Lady right now.
Uh, okay, great. He loses interest pretty quick. Okay, great. So those are the ruins you know. Now you just got to get into town and do them.
Sweet. Ragaire's like,
Okay, sounds good.
yeah, I'll go into town. You take these ones on the edge.
Sure.
Would it not make more sense for her to go into town because you're a man?
Depends.
Ragaire is the stealthiest, though.
It depends on if we're gonna be seen or not seen.
There
Oh,
seems to be quite a commotion in town at the moment, so you might be able to slip in.
I don't know, Ada. It's up to you. You've really got a good head on your shoulders these days. I feel
So
like I can trust you.
mechanically, we'll say that doing all of the runes on the outside of town is one check, because those are all pretty similar, and then doing the ones inside of town are a different check. But you can get all the runes on the outside with one, and all the runes on the inside with one. But we'll make it so one of you does one and one does the other. Ragaire can't do both. Because it does take
Um,
some time. So, like, you wouldn't have enough time if you were to do it all night to go and do all of them. So you do have to divide.
um, no, I think Ragaire's got inside of town. Those speedy elven legs are just like no other.
Truly.
Also, I think we need to go over these runes again. Let me just refresh that old noggin.
Okay, I like just let you guys. I'm just gonna slip away if and let you guys refresh and go do my check in the.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of zoop away on your own. What would you like to do?
I would like to be stealthy
Okay.
to get there and do the writing unseen. I don't know if that's going to be a separate check from doing the writing, but I would stealthily like to get to those locations.
Okay. Yeah. We'll say you you can try and like slink in the shadows. You could probably the buildings aren't very tall, so you could like hop from roof to roof and try not to be seen. Um, Either probably makes the most sense. There is a
It's
little bit of commotion
dark.
in town
It's
at the moment.
nighttime.
Yes, it is nighttime.
Okay. There's a little bit of a commotion in town. Is it where I need to go?
The commotion is sort of the whole town because there's a giant building on fire and they're trying to sort of get
They're
water
looking
from
at
the
the
lake.
building. They're not looking. Yeah, that's building and lake so close together, not in middle of town.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. There's a commotion in the town, not making
Got
it
it.
harder. I'm saying it's going to make it
Okay.
easier.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, thank you. I was like, that's so far away. It'll be fine.
Yes, but there is a demon. You haven't seen her. You do not know where she is.
I just want to see her so that I can challenge her to single combat, no matter where she is. Um,
I'll say as you're going though, you do see a like party. Like you can see the people that are trying to fight the fire, but there are like maybe 2 or 3 groups like with torches that are like moving out of town, like in like a circular pattern. It looks like there are watches happening, as if they were looking for you.
okay. Okay. First order of business is to write these runes stealthily in town.
Mhm.
And then I'll deal with the watches in the second order of business. So stealth to those locations.
Okay.
Um, and then I'll deal with them
Okay.
as it
We will say
happens.
ob. It would be 5, but the commotion's making it easier, so ob 4.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. So, 4. I get +1 from is this when I get to use my +1 for writing the runes, or is that going to be a separate check?
That's for when you're actually doing the runes.
Okay. So I will be careful. Um, and since I've been in this town before, Logan,
Mhm.
and I know the lay of the land
Mhm.
and how the roads work,
Mhm.
can I use Runwise so that I can go down like the least populated road or like the most shaded road
Yeah,
or
you have to tell me a fact about the roads that make it easier for you to stealth.
yeah. So all these roads have service roads on the
Okay.
and so I know that I can just use those back alley service roads to get to
Mhm.
where I want to go. Because they needed the service road because they had all the carts pulling stuff and they had the
Mhm.
roads for the people traffic and then the roads for the food distributing carts.
Yes. Okay.
So
Mhm.
it makes perfect and utter sense, and
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
what I'm gonna do. So carefully and roadwise. Um, yeah. Face up 4. Let's go.
Oh no, one
I'm going
six.
to spend a fate.
Uh-huh.
to
I didn't even
reroll.
prompt you this time.
Oh, you
You
didn't
could have
even.
spent a persona if you felt like it. quite a few.
Sean. How is that helpful?
Well, it's too late now, but
It's too late now. Okay, top 1, that's 1. Let's go.
Nice. Okay. So you are sneaking and you are like sticking to these service roads. You're like ducking from carts. At one point, you like get on the ground and like roll through a cart track because this is where the carts go. Hide behind a food cart that's empty. You turn a corner at one point and like the hair on your neck stands up and you just like fall back downwards because you turn like right as you were going to turn the corner. You see like Erida's like stalk out from the side and she's like sniffing. Like she looks pissed. Like she looks like a person, but you can see the facade is starting to like crack a little bit. Like her eyes are like flame red at this point, and her nose is almost like bestial. And she's smelling, but you like quickly like I don't know, put some dirt on you to disguise your smell or something. She's attuned to human man, and you're elf man, so
I am
you
Elfman.
yeah. And so she
I
she
am
goes
Elfman.
the other direction, and you had that close encounter. But otherwise, you get to the spots that you need to, no problem.
Great. And I would like to write the magic words
Okay. I think
using my own blood.
yes. We will say. I think right. Do you have right?
I don't have write. I have Elven script, which
Okay,
is
you can
reading
use
and
Elven
writing.
script. Yeah. So Elven script, it's ob 2. You have your advantage, and then
Mhm.
with you have to write it with your blood. You
Mhm.
can make this check, and you can have bonuses based off of the amount of injury you went to inflict on yourself.
Oh my word. So how do I choose? Do I just say superficial, or is it you're gonna do it by like like what's my
So yeah, it'd be like a superficial
benefit?
is 1 die advantage, and then the next level up is the next die advantage, just like categories.
Okay.
you're just spraying blood everywhere, and that is close enough to
It
a
like has enough of a
glyph.
yeah, covers enough area that a glyph is possible.
It is all glyphs at one
Yeah.
time.
Um okay. So you said I have 1 advantage
Hmm.
die already.
Yes.
Gonna be careful.
This one, I don't think you guys can do this one carefully because it
Okay.
is time sensitive. You're trying not to be seen. There is a demon prowling around for you. Or
I'm
I
just
guess you can, but the consequence will involve you taking a long time.
I'm not gonna do that then. I won't be
Okay.
careful. I'm not gonna inflict a wound,
Okay.
but I am gonna use a persona.
Okay.
Kidoki Smokey.
Ob 2.
And use Ob 2. I go and I'm like, okay, I got this. I did so much studying in the library. I've learned sorcery wise. This is my time to shine.
Nice.
Nice.
You do it flawlessly. You scribble it down real fast. You're like, that looks fine. You go to the next one, and this time you get real into it. It's very like calligraphy. It looks beautiful. Um, it's perfect. It's stunning. And then you can get out of town, no problem. Ada.
Um,
Yes.
okay, I'm not gonna get out of town, no
Okay.
problem. Side note.
Perfect.
Let Ada do her thing.
Yes. You finish your rune, then we'll hop over to Ada. Okay, Ada.
You hear Ada scream in frustration in the distance. I don't need letters. I just need to hit things with a hammer. Okay. Ada's gonna stealth to where these runes are supposed to go.
Okay. I said yours was ob 5 to 4, Sarah. So yours are going to be ob 4 to 3, Ada.
Cool. Um, I would like to fork in orienteering and tracking
Okay.
as I figure out like the sort of the like way um the patrols are making their way through the forest.
Yeah.
And then I will also do this one carefully. East. Right? Be probably not. We'll be fine. Oh,
Oh, nice. Perfect. So you almost dodge or you almost run into one of these patrols and you're like, okay, okay. So then you sort of slink back and then you go around. You get to the edge of town. You see Erida sort of like stalking, but she seems to be staying inside the actual town. Almost like you see like it doesn't look like she's doing it consciously, but it does seem like she is tending to like be drawn to this spirit in the middle of town. Like she seems to just be working in circles. It doesn't seem like she'll go off, but then she'll be drawn back. Um, but you get
okay.
to your spot, no problem. And now, gotta do your runes, right?
You can do it.
Have to. Okay, I will write. Um, right. I will fork in artifact wise again.
Okay. This is 3 of your penalty earlier.
You know. Um, Ada is gonna do it carefully.
Okay. You can also
I
hurt
think
yourself
she
for advantage.
feels like she has a little more time. Um, yeah. Do I need to hurt my? Probably should. Um, was it superficial is 1 die?
Mhm.
Or why not? Do I need? I'm assuming that'll happen after I make this
Correct.
test.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll do one of those. That's into 3. I think I have 4 going into 3. No, 5 going carefully. Do 1 persona.
That's so many sixes too.
You
What happens if I reroll those 6s?
Um, you can go
Can I
back
get my
over.
can I recover my wound?
If you
I'm already triple
you already tripled the
success.
no, I don't know if other advantages.
I can use it for narrative
I was
effect
gonna give you a
if you
narrative
think
thing.
there's
You do this so well. You find some of them that he has done, and you remember what he had written down like originally. This is not what he taught you, but you realize he like made a mistake, and so you correct one of his runes on your way out.
nice. Okay. Cool.
all those screams of frustration were worth it in the end.
Hey, you know what? It leveled up my writing.
Nice. Okay. So runes are complete. Sarah, you wanted to do something.
So these watches. Are they
Mhm.
like close to finding any? Like, I'm assuming I'm in the center of town. I'm like hiding behind a chimney or something, and I'm
Mhm.
looking out. Um, what? How close are they to finding our camp? Are they like what's the sitch?
They're not close at the moment, and it's sort of just I mean, your camp's not hidden, it's just sort of a ways away, so it's more of like a how persistent are they going to be? It's probably just a matter of time until they find it. Um, like, if they look long enough, they will find it. They're not currently close to finding it, so it's just a matter of how long are they going to look? Will they find you?
Okay. I would like to make a false trail for them to follow, going in the
Okay,
opposite direction.
perfect. What do you want to roll for that?
Tracking? Reverse tracking? It's like a
Reverse
reverse
tracking, yeah.
summoning.
Yeah, anti-tracking, yeah, sure. We'll say 3 to negate them finding the camp entirely.
Ob 3.
Mhm.
We could use tracking or orienteering.
I think tracking makes the most sense.
Okay. Then I'm going to fork in orienteering. And can I fork in conspicuous?
Yeah,
Base ob 3, you said,
mhm,
right? Okie dokie.
nice. Yeah,
I wanted
so
that to fail so bad.
so you, make this trek. It's You're so used to being stealthy that they don't actually even find the tracks that you were purposely leaving them. So you have to like let yourself be seen a little bit, and it's like a fun little rush. But you get away just fine. But they do see you going in the other direction, and then they find your tracks, and they are sort of completely occupied going in that direction. They probably will not find your camp tonight, or they will not find your camp tonight at all.
Perfect. That is what I wanted to do. And I can slip away easily enough
Yep.
using regular stealth.
Yes.
Being inconspicuous stealth. Okay, great.
Perfect. So you guys, will say you reconvene back at the camp. This whole thing probably takes I don't know, maybe like 4 hours. So the sun is close to rising. It's almost the end of night as you guys reconvene back at camp, um, where you find Godzimira and Glausman waiting for you.
All right, Glausman, step 1 complete. What's step 2? Coach us through that part. My sword's ready. I'm ready.
Well, that's
Ada's
step
gonna
3.
bandage her hand and do a health test.
Okay. One.
For our health. There you go. While I'm listening to him tell us whatever
Yeah, he
is
says, "Well,
happening.
that's step 3.
That's
It's
ob
like
one.
the evil husk. That's so we still have to complete the anti-summoning ritual." And he taps the empty fifth spot. So we still have this problem of who will be here.
Um,
How awake is Sonia?
yeah, we do have
She's in a
some
trance.
like
What about Sonia?
is that like a safe what's the safest rune position?
They're all like in and around town. Sonia would just be like, you'd just have to leave her on the side of the road if she was gonna participate. But you also don't know if she could participate at the moment. She's sort of, if
Yeah,
you
we
remember,
don't know
she's
what we have to do yet, really,
mhm,
besides stand in this spot.
yeah. So he says he correct. He hasn't told you. It's a ritual. Like he tells you lines that you're gonna have to say. There's like some incense you're gonna have to like cut yourself, put some blood on the incense, burn it, and you're all gonna have to do that at the same time.
Well, I think we're shit out of luck then. Guys. We could try and get graves. We could try and find graves.
Graves? Who is
Um,
this Graves?
He is an well, no, I won't say that. He is a, a fickle and
Immortal.
surprising
He's been
creature.
alive many minutes.
So many minutes. There anyone else?
Dana's dead.
Yeah, she wasn't really our friend either.
It's sounding more and more like I need to attack this demon with a sword.
Alternatively, we could wait until the morning when the spell is starting to wane and find someone in town who would be amenable if her influence has already faded by morning. Is there anyone in town
Yes.
who would be particularly
Didn't you talk to some
amenable?
wise woman?
I did talk to a wise woman.
Her
What was her
name is
name?
Olia.
Olia, yes. Olia, the wise woman, might be an option. She is a faithful woman of Tudum who, well, she was at least, who tends to the shrine within the center, or yeah, she tends to the shrine by the
Hmm.
center of town. Uh,
That's an option.
I could try and find her. Could try and
If
get her in
she's
the
the
morning.
faithful of Tudum, she might be more protected than the other people from this influence, and she might have come out of it early. Who knows?
Yeah, well, we can wait until morning and see if she's.
Well, morning's a couple hours away, maybe like 3 hours, 2 hours.
Yes.
There's a bunch of really cool surface roads that you can actually walk.
Tell me about these service roads. I'm not. I feel like I am not as wise in the way of roads as you are, Ragaire. Yes, I'll try and find. I'll try and find Olya. Sure, she's either at the shrine or at her house, right? She can't be anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Circles check.
Fuck.
You have found Olia before, right? Your circles was what found her originally.
Yeah, I guess. I don't have her listed for some reason,
Oh. Maybe you didn't, but whatever, you can take it.
but she didn't have an enmity clause with me. That I
No.
definitely would have written down.
No, I think you
Yes,
just
that was
failed the check at the end, and that's when she saw you and your friends, and she was upset with you. Um, we'll say it's gonna be base level 1, occupation. No. Time and place. We're gonna say unusual for this character, and that it would be unusual for her to not be under the influence of Erda's when the whole town is. So, but I don't think you're right here, right now, in the middle of trouble at the moment. So we're gonna say that's an obtuse circles to find Olia.
2 circles. I think my circle. What? 2.
You found her before, so you get a bonus.
Yeah. Um. Do I have a reputation affiliation? Help. I don't think so. I want to do the circles test carefully.
Okay.
Because I can't help
I
you with
think
circles, right?
you can
I'm
help with
not.
circles, but you have to have similar circles. Like you have to have been able to make the test reasonably, I guess. I don't know. Like, you have to share similar life paths to me,
Mm-hmm.
which
So
I
probably
think
not.
does not include elves normally. Would do it carefully. I really want to send persona on this.
Spend a deed.
I definitely don't want to spend a deed on my circles test. Ugh. Yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Nice. Perfect.
Got it.
Yeah. So you find Olya. She is she's at her house when you find her, and she is sort of
Wait,
yes.
can I find on Sonia like a sigil ring or something that is like of hers? I like grab that because I want to convince Olya by being like, I can show you the real countess if you just trust me,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I have her stuff to show you.
Also, the other former countess now has a beast nose and red eyes in case she wants.
In case you wanted to just check those real quick.
Yes, so you can do that. You find Olya at her house. She is a little like do you just knock on the door? How do you find her? I'll tell you she's at her house.
Yeah, I think I check her house first while trying to avoid like any of the crowds and sort of like I borrow one of what that demon hunter's his his shrouds, and I sort of shroud
Glousman.
myself a little bit.
Mhm.
Clauslin. And I think Ada just comes in. Like if the door is unlocked, which I don't
Mhm.
think it would be locked at the
No.
moment. She just sort of like maybe knocks a little bit before like immediate. She's just like knock knock, and then like lets herself in. And is
Yeah. Perfect. So as you sort of just knock and enter, um, she is looking down. She says, she hears the door and she says, "Oh, Lubin, is that you? Oh,
oh
oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were Lubin." But you just
no.
from looking at her immediately, she looks confused.
Was Lubin her husband? Do I know that?
You don't know that.
I don't think I know his name, but I do know he went missing.
Correct.
Um, okay. No, Ada will be like, Olia, do you remember me? It's Ada. You helped me earlier when we were
Oh,
looking at the Shrine of
uh, uh,
Tutoring. I,
Ada.
I, I need your help.
I also need your help. I know Lubin is around here somewhere. I just don't know. It's not like him to leave.
No, it's not like him to leave. I am so sorry, Oya, but the Countess, she's in danger, and I think the town is in danger, and I need you to come with me so we can help everyone in town. And Ada will pull out whatever this sigil is.
Okay.
Um,
We'll say Ob 3 persuasion. You can have an advantage from the sigil that you pulled out.
okay. I will. Ob 3. And I have one advantage. I want to say I'm not going to actually tell a tall tale, but
Uh-huh.
I want Ada to carefully retell most of what's happened. She's going to maybe leave out that all of the men have been killed so far,
Right.
because I think that might be more traumatizing than helpful. But I
Mhm.
think the tale of what is happening to this village will sound so tall that it will count as tall tale telling because I don't think she'll believe me for it at all.
Sure. Yes,
uh,
that's
so
good.
as another advantage, and I'll also do it carefully. That will be 3 advantages into 3. And Ada would just be like, I know this is really hard and you're not going to believe me, but I promise you, I have the Countess safe outside, but I need your help. And she's going to tell about how a demon has taken over the town and has all the people under a spell. Um, we finally have a way to stop this evil demon.
Nice. Yeah,
Watch.
perfect. She's like, you start telling this tale, expecting it to be like a tall tale, and she's just buying it hook, line, and sinker. She says, "Oh, I maybe that's what Lubin is doing. He probably would have gone to help the Countess with the demon. There's a demon in town. Oh my goodness. Well,
Tudum
the
is
Countess.
calling on you to do your
Well,
service to
if
the
Tudum is
world."
calling, I will answer." And she's still a little confused, but you have her hyper focused on this activity at the moment. Like
Yeah.
if she's not looking at you, she's sort of just like starting to wander. But like when she's looking on you, she is
Grab
focused.
her and I'm like, look at me, oh yeah. Take my hand, we're going into the forest.
Okay.
And I will lead her back to the group.
Okay. She is a known person in town, so I don't think it's going to be hard to smuggle her out. You don't have to hide her at all. So I'll say you can just get her back to the camp as well. No check required.
Okay. Quite fake.
Okay. So some time passes, and then Ada comes back with Olya in
Yes.
tow.
And it comes back, she's like, okay, Olya, these are my friends. As you can see, the Countess is here. She's a little fragile at the moment, so we're just not gonna bother her too much, but she's safe for right now. And we need your help completing a ritual to stop this demon.
Reverse
Okay.
And
summoning ritual.
an unsummoning ritual. And Glasland's gonna explain part 2.
Okay. So as you can see here, we're gonna be here. Before he does it, he goes up to her and he sort of like looks at her hard, and it's like, I guess she'll do. Anyway, so you're gonna stand, and then he just goes straight into it, like not asking her if she's comfortable. He's just like, so you're gonna stand here. So then we all have to. You cut your hand. You put your blood on the incense. You say these chants. You will light them up. He hands out little like crucibles that you're gonna light the incense in. He said, and then you light the incense, and then you have to like waft it toward the center of town, and you say these other chants, and it's just this whole process that he goes through. You guys practice it a couple times. He's like,
He just
okay.
has 5 crucibles in his bag of tricks.
Yeah, he lifts up one of his cloaks, and on a rope, there's like, he has like 12, but he takes 5 off of this thing.
Brother Wirt's resourcefulness is really starting to make a lot more sense.
It's
So
just
he
run
hands
in the church.
hands all of them out, and he's like, well, okay, so we'll go do it now, and then you'll know when to light it and start. I'll send a signal.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
great.
He says, wait, before
Aslan.
you go. He sort of like grabs all of you, and he gives you all a boon, making something open-ended until you're done with this ritual.
Wow.
Wow.
He didn't even have to roll for it.
He did it. It's
It's
'cause
only
he's a saint.
obtuse, so he can make it
He can
work.
get it.
Yeah, he can get it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
So, okay, you guys can get to your spots, probably no problem. We won't make you roll. You've been in and out of town enough to know how to get there. As far as checks, does anyone have a skill that they think would be applicable to this?
Skill check.
To doing
If
a
not, you
ritual.
can use your will.
I mean, sorcery wise, conspicuous,
Singing.
singing.
We'll make it
If there's
just
a chant.
wills. We'll just do ob
Okay.
3 will checks.
Ob 3
3
will
will.
checks.
Yes, because you're participating in the anti-summoning, but you're not really leading it, so it's not super hard for you. You're just
Just
sort of
gotta
going
be
through motions.
focused.
Yeah.
Okay. Bump, 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 bump.
Can we do this carefully?
No, because everyone has to
We have
be
to be in
on
time.
time.
I'm gonna use a persona.
Ada's never been good at tempo. Yeah, I'll use a persona.
Base ob 3.
Can we have an advantage for me fixing his sigil?
No, it was narrative only.
I'm going. I'm going. I'm doing it.
Okay, nice.
Why do I have that disadvantage? Oh, it doesn't. But
You healed
Okay.
yourself.
I
So,
did. I think
You
I
guys
got rid of it
look
after I'd
for
opened that
the
window.
sign. It is I don't know, just like a white flash in the sky above the town, and you're like, okay, that was probably the sign. So you start doing your thing. Ada, you fumble a little bit. You like drop the incense on the ground. And you're like, oh shit, oh shit. You just pick it up. There's like some dirt on it, and you brush it off, and you just keep going.
I just blow on it. Keep going.
But-
Keep going.
But you blow on it, and it catches on fire before it was supposed to, and you're like, oh shit, you stab it out, and then you like relight it at the right time. And you start to see like in the center of town, where Spring lives, you see like it's starting to grow or glow a little bit. And like it's very faint, but you're like looking for it so you can see it. There's like this red column that's sort of like emanating up from it and then forming a dome that comes down to exactly where you are. So it seems like what you're doing is making this dome around the town, or at least around the circle. You hear Erdaz yell out from the middle of town, like a bestial demon roar. And she's like runs at you all. Roll a d6, both of you. See who she comes at.
Both of us.
Higher is better. So,
There's my
of
six.
course, she goes after Ragaire. It really was never a question. He's the man. So she runs at you. She's sprinting like claws. As she looks full on demon at this point. She
My
has
sword
shed,
is drawn.
She has shed her Sonya
Incense in one
skin,
hand.
running at you, but she lunges for you and like
Yeah.
she hits the dome and she can't get out. And you quickly complete what you're doing, and like you see her like eyes go a little like doe-eyed. Like you can see something has left. The dome disappears. There's like a thunderclap, and
Mhm.
now you just have this like thing in front of you. It's just like guttural breathing, but it still sees like anger at you, and it is gonna go for you. So
All
now
right,
is
we
your
gonna
turn.
kill that thing.
Okay.
Please. Would
Yep,
like to kill
and
thing.
thank you. Okay. So we're gonna do bloody verses.
Okay. Oh my word.
Let
Can Ada
me
make it
versus.
over to her in time or see her?
Um,
See Ragaire, I guess.
no, probably not, because you had to finish your thing.
It's okay. I'm a lone wolf.
Okay, so bloody verses. So, I think shorter weapon is
Claws.
claws, which I think are more appropriate because you had to finish your thing so she could close the distance between you two. So your sword is a little bit of a disadvantage at the moment.
Okay.
Do you have any? She's not armored, so your versus armor doesn't matter. And her claws don't have any versus armor either. So she'll have 2d advantage to attack. I don't think you will have anything for attack. For defend, what kind of leather are you, or what kind of armor are you wearing?
I think it's light plate armor. Let me.
Okay, so that's a 2d advantage. She does not have armor,
Light
so she doesn't
mail.
have
Light
anything.
mail.
So yeah, 2d advantage to defense. She has nothing to defense. Um, And then general advantages. Higher reflexes. Probably you. And longer stride. Probably. Your reflexes are higher at the moment, but she can still move quicker. So she gets the one for longer stride because she is still like an actual demon.
Okay, so tell me again. So that was +2 to defense, and then just a general +1
And then
for
yeah,
me.
and then you can have forks if you would like. She's gonna have a base die of 5 with 2 advantage to attack.
Right.
You can also
Um,
open end your sword.
I
for
did
one
open
die.
end my sword.
Perfect.
Open ended my will.
Open
wouldn't
in
have
that
helped.
sword. Okay, so I'm gonna use sword, which is 5.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm gonna do 5 attack, 2 defense, and then
Okay. She's doing 4 and 3.
Okay.
So we'll do your attack first. So she's gonna roll 3 dice to set the ob for you.
Okay.
Okay, so just 1 ob for her defense. So your attack, now you roll against 1 ob.
Now I get to roll my attack
Yes.
versus 1. Gonna use another persona. Can I use persona in Bloody Versus?
Yeah, you can use persona all the
Yeah,
time.
you can use it for any test. I was trying to think if you can use a fate for an extra dice because your thing's open, or you can use it to re-roll a traitor.
Reroll a traitor.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Since
So
it's open.
as soon as the incense stick like burns down, I throw it
Mhm.
away and I double hit it, and I'm like, "Die, you demon spawn!" I'm extra mad now because the spell has dissipated, and I realize that she made me feel so inferior, and that I'm really a good guy.
Oh my
Wow.
Yike. Okay, yeah. You just simply cut her in twain. But we'll see if she has time to get a hit on you as well. So now you roll your defense.
Okay. Do I still use sword to do it or no?
Yep, so it's still open-ended.
It's less than my sword though. Can I
You
reduce?
can do negative advantage, which will take away dice.
Okay. I'll try that.
So if you're rolling, how many dice are you
Negative.
rolling for defense?
I'm rolling 5, so -3 should give me 2, right?
Yes. Is that? Didn't you have 2 defense dice?
Yeah, so 5, and then she said -3, so 2.
Yeah, but doesn't she have 1 general advantage too?
Did
From
you spend that on
agility, from
attack?
reflexes?
I didn't spend it on attack. I
Okay,
can
so you
spend
can
it here.
send it here, yeah.
I'll spend it here.
It's also technically you have to always spend, I think, 1 from your original skill into defense anyway. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true. Don't listen to that.
Oh, well,
You should
too
have
late
1
for
more in
that.
defense, so you should be at 3.
So I'll do -2. I'll have 3 in
Yeah.
defense.
Yes.
Okay. There is no obstacle.
No.
Let's do it.
1. You can so this
Could
is
reroll
still
a
open-ended, so
traitor.
you can reroll traitors. It's a persona to do so. She is rolling
So
5 dice. I forgot she had the extra from longer stride, so her 4 attack is 5.
it's a fake.
Can I use my
reroll,
call on
sure.
trait Lone Wolf and re-roll my defense?
Yes.
I'll do that.
Oh, and it's a fate to reroll a traitor, so keep that in mind if you want to do it after this.
Yes. Okay. Do -2 again. And I reach deep down and I think defensive thoughts.
What does an elf by themselves do? They defend themselves.
And I find my inner rage and I go for it. Oh my
Oh,
No. Okay.
with double, it's the same numbers.
It's the
Well.
same roll.
Well, you can spend a fate to reroll a traitor.
Sure. I always, when Logan gives me the option to spend a fate, I am but a pawn. There is no
It's a
ob.
foregone conclusion.
But I'm just gonna roll one die, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that's something.
Nice. So 2. So she is rolling 5 dice, ob 2.
Ooh.
3. Okay. So we will say you are the clear winner with your 6 versus 1. So you completely eliminate her. You cut her in half. She's still like a body, but like she's almost hollow. Like she's not. You cut her way more easy than normal body, and so like you actually literally cut her in half, and she sort of like fire bursts out of her, and she like falls to the ground. But and you were so into that you didn't even notice she like had managed to hit you with the claw, um, right before she was.
That beach got a claw.
Yeah. So
Ugh,
it's just a small, simple little puncture wound.
that makes me so worried the way that you say that, though.
Well, it's probably not gonna help when I tell you to mark down that you have a small demon puncture wound.
I mean, no, it's not going to help, but I
Okay,
will do it because what's a demon puncture wound but a black blood gang?
correct. And it's not. This is not a wound, so you don't have to mark it in your wound. This is clearly this is a trait that you can add to yourself. Demon wound trait. Demon wounded.
Demon wound.
Okay,
Ugh,
perfect.
love that for me.
So you all, Ada, you you hear Ragaire yell quickly after you finish your ritual, and then you hear like like a bout of fire, like a huge fire, like going up in like maybe like a conflagration. Is that what the word is? Like a big
Mm.
rush of fire as like this demon body husk is like charring and burning. Like there was no fire here, but now this body is burning rather quickly. Um, yeah. And so you
Okay.
can like look over, you like peek around the corner, you can see
Yeah,
Ragaires from their section.
I was gonna say I would check on everyone, starting with Ragaire,
Hmm.
uh, to see what's up. Probably see that Ragaire has their sword drawn and there's a charred body next to them.
Yes.
Ada
That
will
felt
run
good.
over shouting and be like, Ragaire, what happened?
Don't worry, Ada. I killed it.
You killed it? It
Yeah,
worked?
I think so.
Yes! We're demon slayers!
We are demon slayers.
Ada lets out like a big whoop into the air.
You feel a tap on your shoulder.
Is it
She turns
grapes?
around. Who
Oh,
is it?
hello, it's me. It's Graves.
Graves! She like gives Graves a big bear hug and starts crushing him.
He's wet,
Oh gosh.
uncomfortably
He
wet.
stops
Where
crushing
did
him.
you go, Grapes?
Oh,
Graves,
I was bothering
you are
Eridas.
officially retired.
Oh, no, I just came to say goodbye as I also get banished back to where she was because I can't leave her side. But I just wanted to say great job. I wasn't actually attached to this location for my restaurant and all, so I'm going to make it work somewhere else. I just didn't want you to have any bad feelings about
Oh,
banishing
I
me.
was
buddy.
worried. I
Okay,
look
well,
forward to hearing about your restaurant in the
Keep on
future.
cooking.
You know where to
yeah,
find us.
I made you guys something, and he gives you like a piece of food. It's a
A
Danish.
generic piece of food.
A Danish. He gives you a nice pastry Danish.
A pastry Danish. Graves, appreciate this. Love it. But did it come from demonic summoning and blood
No, I made
rituals?
this one myself.
With wheat
Yes,
grown from the ground?
from the ground.
Ah,
Lovely.
we will
Anyway,
treasure
I
this,
have to go
Graves.
now. I'm sort of being called elsewhere, so
Good luck. May your eternal torment of her go well.
perfect. Okay, one more
We'll
thing.
miss you.
Yeah.
He slaps Ragaire across the face, giggles, and then disappears into his pot, and the pot clanks to the floor.
I kicked that pot. Damn it, Graves.
You
Why
always
do you
love the
think he
fights you
was
won.
wet?
I don't want to know, and I'm not going to ask.
Where are the others? Where's Godzimira
You
and
see
Glosman?
Godzimira walking out into the center of town with like a concerned look on her face. Her sword is drawn. She's like
Um,
pointing it around.
okay, yeah.
Does
Ada
she?
will wave over at her and be like, "Godzamira, we're here. I think Ragaire killed the husk."
She comes over. She says, "Oh, well, that is good, but I think something has gone horribly wrong.
Oh,
Obviously, it has to go horribly
what
wrong.
has gone
Where
horribly wrong?
There's nobody." She
in this town?
Oh,
points around, and there's nobody in town.
where's Gloslin?
I don't know. I went to check on him, and he is gone.
Where's Olya?
I haven't checked on her yet.
Oh my.
We left Sonia in the woods. She might be okay.
Sonia's in the woods.
Mm,
You
mm.
go check on Sonia. We'll check on Olya. Meet back at the camp. No,
I
come back here. We'll meet at the shrine, the center of town in the pagoda.
Okay. She takes off.
We
Alright.
will run over
What
to
do
where
we
Olya was
see
supposed to be,
running
You
around?
and
so
I'll
there's
shout Olya's name.
no one in town. Like there's no bodies. It's just nobody. You do see Olya. She's sort of again in her like wandering, confused self, but she's generally where she was supposed to be for the ritual. She sees Ada, and she like you see her sort of focused again. She's like waves at you.
Oh, Olya, you're safe at least. There may be a problem, but we're going to figure it out in a moment. We're gonna go to the shrine, okay? Let's make some prayers.
Okay,
Ada will grab Olya and bring her back to the shrine.
perfect. To the shrine. Okay.
Isn't it next to the pagoda, anyways?
Yeah.
I thought they were like right now.
Yeah. The shrine is the
See, is the
pagoda area.
lotus still there? Because I am real concerned that it is not.
Yep, the lotus is still there. The shrine looks identical to how you left it.
Okay. Slightly melted, but not too melted.
Crispy.
Okay.
We had nothing to do with this, Olya, I promise.
Uh, Godzimira comes back with Sonia, who's there and normal how you left her, and she says, she pulls out like an amulet. She says, "I went back to where Glosman was, and this was left there."
I look at the amulet.
It's
Artifact.
just
Why
an
is that amulet?
It looks like something from Brother Word's religion. Like it has that same sort of symbology on it. It has maybe like an iconography of the lady on it. It's like I mean he was wearing it before. I don't know why he
Can
would have
I
left it.
do a check and be like, is he really a follower of the consort?
Oh yeah,
Somehow, even though I don't know what the consort is, but like something's like wrong about these symbols.
yeah. Do you want to do artifact wise?
Yes.
Okay. We'll say
Uh,
ob 3.
3. I'll do it carefully. Can I fork in appraisal? As praise the
How do you
artifact?
yes? Tell me how appraisal works.
Is it historical or not? Maybe. Like you can appraise its historicity.
I think appraisal has to do also with like close analysis. So like if there's hidden, I'm also looking for like any hidden things, any gems, symbols, scratches, things that could be out of place or changed. Like if an etching had like an extra line drawn in that actually changes it somehow,
Yeah.
and it actually looks like it's not original to the piece,
Hmm.
something like that. So we'll do that. It should be right. Well, nope.
Um. It looks old. It doesn't seem to be altered in any way. You're pretty confident about that, but it doesn't. There's no like extra lines. There's no tampering that's really happened. You can just tell it's pretty old.
It's a worthless piece of junk from this
Wasn't
religion, and we'll save it for
wasn't
Wirt.
Glausman the name of the person that fought fought this demon in the first place?
I mean, he was a hunter. He said he was
I don't
following her for
remember
a
what
while.
Wirt said. He gets on his long tangents, and then I just stop listening. There was some saint, but the saint died, I thought.
I don't know. That guy was real vague about how many minutes old he was.
Yes, he was. We should have asked Graves.
Uh,
But I think that ship has sailed.
can I sorcery wise this and see what went wrong? If something went wrong or if this was like intentional.
Yeah. Yes. We'll say ob.
Like having seen the entirety
Yeah.
of the spell.
Yeah. We'll say ob 4, but I'll give you an advantage for literally being part of it.
I was literally there. I was there on the front lines. Okay. And you said it what ob 4.
Mhm.
Okay. I think back before the demon got me distracted.
Mhm.
I have no idea what went wrong.
You don't know what went wrong. You are pretty confident that everything went perfectly.
Exactly how it was supposed to go. I
Did
promise.
who was in eyesight of Glausman? Was it Godzamira or Alia?
You couldn't see each other while you were doing the
Okay, we were too far
ritual.
away.
Yeah. So no one had direct eyes on Klausman during the ritual.
Well, we seem to have a disappearing theme going on here.
I
That's
mean,
fun.
for all we know, we've banished them to the same realm as the freaking demon.
So that
They
would
could
be
be underwater.
unfortunate.
It would be unfortunate. It is also completely unsolvable.
Well, I think that we can sort of rest now. I don't know about you, but that took a lot out of me. You seem to
Here,
be
Godzamira, have some Danish.
wounded. Oh, thank you. Do you give her your Danish?
Yeah.
She takes your Danish. She eats it. Well, that was really good.
So delicious.
Perfect. And then instead of just having you guys try and solve this problem on your own, we will wrap it up here as you have solved the demon problem and you are sort of resting at the shrine. And then next week, or I guess in 2 weeks, when the gang is all back together, we'll see what progress you guys can make on that front. So you're not just going in circles, but unless any
We're gonna be
other
like,
things.
good news, demon is gone. Bad news, everybody else is also gone.
Town is also gone.
Okay. So we'll wrap up here. We are going to do Artha off screen as usual. Sarah, what are we playing next week?
By next week, we mean somewhere in time. But next time, we'll be playing things from the front.
We'll be and we don't know what's going to happen yet, so stay tuned. You'll have to
We
find
really
out when
don't know.
Okay.
This time
Let's-
it's a true mystery.
It's a true mystery, and we're all in fear. We will sign off then. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.